Oh, thank you very much. There we go. As I was saying, muted, if you could read read my lips, you would see that I was basically saying all the shit that we haven't talked about, primarily PBC garbage, right? That the PBC potentially is pushing. And you don't need to look far when you smell a whiff of shit to realize that something is brewing with the PBC, whether it's a Javante Tank Davis, fucking Jake Paul fight, or a Manny Pacquiao versus a Mario Barros fight, or any of the other bullshit that the PBC is peddling. But, oh yes, the PBC fanatics are going to be happy to try to spend $80 to $85 to watch all that shit. Let me tell you, I'm going to be saving a lot of money this summer because I'm not going to be paying for any of that garbage. Let me know what you think. Are any of those fights things that you're actually interested in? And the sad truth to it is there might actually be good undercards in these fight cards, right? But you wouldn't know because who's really going to be interested? I'm a huge Pacquiao fan. I love Manny. But to see Manny in a Mario Barros fight at this point, when Mario Barros literally has been fucking hiding, ducking, and dodging his title from any legitimate opponents, but people somehow want to criticize Lomachenko. Only in America. Only in America. But Drunk Irishman's in the house. What's up, Jay Cool? Wayne Evans, what's up? I'm not paying for that shit either. Man, there's a lot of quality boxing that's coming on over the summer. A lot of quality boxing, some of which we're going to talk about today, just because when I saw the card, I was super stoked and excited. And there's been an addition to one of the cards as well, which is even more of a reason for me to be hyped about it. You maybe no, but me, yes. So let's just jump into this. Talk about obviously fights that have happened last week, which I didn't really go live on. I didn't see them live, so I didn't want to really talk about them until obviously after I'd watched the fights. And obviously fights that are happening this weekend that I'm probably not going to watch live either. Unfortunately, a lot of times when fights are in the UK, it just doesn't work out for my schedule to be able to watch those fights live and actually go live for them. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. So the fight this weekend, and I suppose if you're a UK boxing fan, maybe this is a fight you would be kind of interested in. To me, this is kind of like Richard Hitchens versus a George Kambosos type of fighter, right? You have the young up and coming fighter versus the old veteran who obviously looks well past his best. I wouldn't say that Usman is Richard Hitchens, but you could see some comparisons in that scenario. Obviously, Taylor and George Kambosos similar as well, fighters that had a good career, but at this point, you know, obviously the writing is on the wall. It seems pretty clear that these guys are past their best. What do you guys think about this Taylor Usman fight? Do you give Taylor an opportunity to win? Do you think he's going to win? Is he being favored, or do you think the young upstart is going to make his name beating the wily veteran? I don't know enough about Usman to really say too much about him. I've seen his name. I've seen that he's been basically a domestic UK type of fighter, but that's really all I know about him. I couldn't really say if I've ever even seen him fight. But Drunk Irishman, I'm sure you know. What do you think about this fight? Is Taylor going to beat this upstart, or is this the beginning of the end? Let's just jump onto the BoxRec card just so we can look a little closer at the card and who else is on it besides, of course, Josh. And don't get me wrong, I like Josh. Josh was a good fighter when he first came up and, you know, really got into some back and forth. He was a real, you know, angry man. Not necessarily a guy I agreed with a lot. A lot of the things he said I thought were pretty revolting, but it is what it is. Oh, we also have that Maxie Hughes fight card this weekend with Terry Harper as well that's going to be fighting James Flint. But where is this fight with my man, Josh Taylor? Just give me a second to try to find it on BoxRec. I wonder if it's going to be here, there. Okay. I have a method to my madness. Jack Catterall. Oh, Jack Catterall is going to be fighting Harlem Eubank, right? That's a solid fight. Eubank, 21-0, fighting obviously, what's his face? Jack Catterall, who's a solid fighter. And obviously, when you look at his loss to Josh Taylor and then later on his loss to Barboza, both of those fights easily could be victories. He could easily be a world champion, a unified world champion, and undefeated, right? So it's a big jump up for Harlem Eubank, a kid that, what has he done? I know he's 31 years old, but the guy is 21-0, 9 knockouts. His best win was probably his last win against Tyrone McKenna, who he stopped in 10 rounds. I don't think that's going to be a very good fight for him. I think Jack Catterall is going to beat and batter him. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So here we are, Josh Taylor versus Ikau Essuman, 21-1. The card overall, it's pretty good. You got Moses Atome on it, probably the best, most hyped up young fighter in boxing today. I know I'm stoked. I'm a big fan of his, so I'm really excited to see him just get back in the ring, even if it's not against maybe the best opponent. Drunk Irishman says, I got Taylor, even with his inactivity. Salute in the building, Young Hungry Lions, Hard Recoil. Let me just share my screen so we can all check out this box rec. There we go. Everybody in the house can see. What's up, my man? Stringer from above. So that's not bad. Obviously, the Taylor Usman fight is for the WBO International Vacant title. So it's for a title, but outside of putting the winner into a position to be a mandatory fighter, there's not much to it. This guy, 21-1, 8 KOs, obviously not a hard puncher, 36 years old. So he's also not a young fighter as well. Lost to Harry Scarf, beat Chris Congo, who was once a really sort of hyped fighter. When you look at overall, I mean, his level of opportunity that he's been in the ring with, you would think this should be an easy victory for Josh Taylor if he's got anything left. But that's the question. What does he have left, right? Then, of course, you have my man, the myth, the legend, the next superstar boxer from the UK, Moses Utama, 11-0, 9 KOs, 20 years old, 6'2.5", 78.5-inch reach. This guy is going to be the British Mike Tyson, if you believe the hype. He's going to be fighting Mike Boligan, 21-1. Not a bad opponent, but when you look closer at this guy, he's got 16 knockouts, so a little bit of power, American fighter. His one loss came to Murat Gassiev back in 2023, where he got stopped in 2 rounds. And we know Gassiev was a great fighter, right? I mean, the shame is what's happened to Gassiev's career. This is a guy coming out of cruiserweight who was a legitimate killer, right? And still only 31 years of age. But what has he done, right? When he fought Alexander Usyk in 2018, he didn't then fight for 2 years until he actually moved to heavyweight. Fought in 21, 22, 23, 2 times. So he was pretty busy that year. And then fought once in 2024. Has yet to fight in 2025. This guy has really not really stepped up and tried to make a name for himself. Obviously lost to Otto Wallin by split decision. You lose to Otto Wallin, you got to ask yourself really what you're doing with your career, if anything. Allen versus Fisher, whole card was more entertaining than Fatal Fury. I'm driving, so I can't see. I'm just listening. He's a 42-year-old NFL player. Yeah. And nobody expects him to do too much except just to be a live body, right? And that's what we hope. Obviously, he beat Trey Lippe. That's a pretty solid win. Trey Lippe, if you guys remember, 18-0. This was Tommy Morrison's kid, I think he's really Tommy Morrison's kid, isn't he? And this guy didn't quite live up to the Tommy Morrison expectation, but people were kind of giving him a lot of attention early on in his career. 18-1, 17 KOs, only stopped once to this ex-football player. After getting knocked out by him in one round, he's never fought again. What does that tell you? He fought Ty Cobb, you know. He did not work out quite as good as his father did. But Moses, he's a killer. I was listening to a podcast yesterday or the day before, and they were hyping him up so much, saying that pundits who've been watching him are actually talking about him being in position right now to legitimately beat Bacoli, Daniel Dubois, and Parker. I mean, that's fucking pretty big hype, man. You know, this kid obviously is a good fighter. He's fought not bad competition for as old as he is and how many fights he's had. And obviously we expect him to really be fast-tracked probably this year. But talking about putting him in with 3 of the top probably 5 fighters in the heavyweight division right now. At least 3 guys that are legitimately top 10. Whoa. You know, I would like to see him fight, what's his face? The UK fighter who's going to be fighting the replacement opponent. He was supposed to fight Big Baby. Big Baby pulled out. So he's going to be fighting the Australian Olympian. And I would love to see Moses Atama take on the winner of that fight. To me, that is perfect. If he goes in and steamrolls that winner, what a fucking statement that would be. What a statement. Then we can potentially talk about him fighting everybody else in and around fucking the heavyweight division. Stringer says, someone please tell Taylor isn't fighting at 140 again. He's looked absolutely sick every time he makes that weight. Josh is fighting at 147. Ioka. What about Ioka? I love Ioka. Did you think he won the fight or lost? I was disappointed, obviously, because if he won, I was hoping we'd get that Roman Gonzalez-Ioka fight, 4-weight division champion versus 4-weight world champion. But now it looks like probably we're going to get a Bam Rodriguez versus Puma for 3-belt unification, which, don't get me wrong, that's a great fight as well. But to be fair, it's not quite the fight I was hoping for. What's else? Oh, here's my man. This is a one fight that I'm excited to see. Luke McCormick, Olympic medalist, 29 years old. I mean, at 29, this guy really needs to be fast-tracked a lot more. Sometimes I don't understand what the UK promoters are doing. Kid's 3-0, 2 knockouts, been win with good competition. But, like, really? Come on. Like, he should be doing more. Like 2 fights in 2024. This is going to be his 2nd fight in 2025, fighting tin can opponents. I'm getting mistaken, right? The guy I'm talking about is his brother, or is it him? I watched Ioka, but forgot who got the decision. Puma got the decision, but Puma got dropped late in the fight by Ioka, but he couldn't obviously get him out of there, which would have been sensational if he could have. Alan, okay, nice. Meant Yoka for Moses to fight. Oh no, Tony Yoka is fucking shot garbage. Like at this point, come on. You know, the dude from Australia fighting the UK guy right now, I think that's going to be for the WBA regular title. That fight makes way more sense. You throw Moses in with them, he wins a world title, right? Obviously a baby belt, but still. And against a really solid opponent. Sean, have you made a pick for Zepeda versus Shakur yet? Oh, I think Shakur is going to win a boring fucking unanimous decision. I don't see what Zepeda is going to do to win that fight. I know Zepeda just came out recently and said that he knows he's not going to win the decision, so he's going to have to really bring it. And he doesn't think that Shakur is going to throw as many punches in the inside as Tevin Farmer did, and that's probably true. But that doesn't mean that Zepeda is going to be throwing many punches. I mean, we've seen Shakur in with volume, hard punchers, and really take the wind right out of those fights. Win easy fights, but fucking boring fights that nobody was impressed with. Like, it'll be disappointing in truth if Shakur goes in there, beat Zepeda in a real boring, fucking uninteresting fight. It's just going to be a similar situation to Devin Haney. These guys are obviously great fighters, but you're not winning fans by going out there and stinking a place out. And I know JB is going to be like, oh, fucking the usual suspects hating on black Americans. It's not hating on black Americans. Boring is fucking boring. It don't matter what color you are. If you're fucking boring, you're boring. Caleb Plant, fucking boring. The dude ain't black, but he's still boring to fucking watch, right? This is not a race thing. Not from me, maybe from these race-based fucking channels. But the truth is, I hope Shakur looks good, but I don't know if I could see him looking good. Bad hands, hates to get fucking hit. Yeah. I saw Fannin make a statement, and Fannin was saying he doesn't think that Haney, Shakur, and Ryan Garcia are going to be around very long in the boxing game. And I think it's completely true. These guys are all trying to get paid big money for fucking doing nothing. Shakur's hands are fucked. He hates to get punched. Devin Haney fucking has, fucking PTSD. Ryan Garcia has fucking never been good. Guy has fast hands and power, but his feet are fucking shit. Terrible. So he can never get himself in position to land punches against a quality fighter. And the truth is, when those three guys and Tank Davis retires, I know, of course, Fannin is going to dick ride Tank Davis while criticizing the other guys. But let's just keep it fair. When all four of those fighters get out of here, it's probably going to be better. Then at least we can have a new era of fighters that actually are going to do something. Guys like Keyshawn Davis. Zepeda has alluded to a plan A and B, so I'm curious as to what he will bring to the ring. I don't even know what you're talking about, like him alluding to a plan A and B. Like, obviously, you should have multiple fucking strategies in the ring because you got to be able to adapt in the ring if you want to be fucking successful. That's why I praise Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali, because you don't see many fighters that can literally make in-ring adjustments. Not with their corner telling them to make adjustments. Even that's difficult for some people. The majority of fighters can't even make adjustments between rounds, right? But ask Drunk Irishman, how many fighters, historically could make in-ring adjustments? Floyd could do it, but at the same time, Floyd also fucking sucked the air out of fights. So even though he could have been brilliant, unfortunately, he fucking made fights so fucking disinteresting that you don't get the praise you deserve because nobody wants to watch any of your fights. Like, I literally never go back and watch a Floyd Mayweather fight on fucking YouTube. Why would I? What fight do I even fucking find interesting? None. I only have seen Zepeda use one style. That's all he's got, right? He's just a volume pressure fighter. And if you take that away from him, what's he going to do? Could he box with his jab moving backwards? Is he going to be a counter puncher? Like, you may adjust how you attack, right? Double jab, bend, get inside. I mean, you may try to move a lot more and cut off the angles, But I mean, how much adjustments is he going to make based on his style of fighting? Aircraft Carrier says, salute Sean, salute my man. What else are we looking at? So overall, I mean, this card is not too bad. I want to see McCormick fight. Obviously, I want to see Moses fight, but Moses fight will be lucky if it lasts 3 rounds. Josh Taylor fight could be good, but the question is, what does Josh Taylor have left? And then you have this kid, Nathaniel Collins, 16-0, 7 KOs, 28 years old, fighting a good fighter in Lee McGregor, 15-1. So that potentially could be the best fight on the card, right? For the WBC vacant silver featherweight title. Outside of that, I don't know what else to pay attention to. We will see. Floyd versus Canelo, Floyd versus Corella. Man, Floyd versus Canelo is not a fucking fun fight to watch. Canelo never made adjustments, never put pressure. He just fucking followed Floyd and allowed Floyd to do exactly what he wanted to do. in a fucking very uninteresting fight. You don't like those. Corrales fucking just got his ass beat. It wasn't a competitive fight. So you just want to see Floyd beat up somebody so I could go watch Gaddy and Floyd? Like, how come we don't talk about De La Hoya versus Gaddy? You notice no one ever fucking brings that fight up. No one ever says, oh yeah, let's go watch the De La Hoya Gaddy fight. Because De La Hoya beat Gaddy before Floyd did and already exposed that there was levels to this. That's why when Floyd signed up to fight Gaddy, people were like, why? What the fuck? Why are you fighting a club fighter? How's this proving anything? Floyd versus Canelo was a schooling. Frank Warren said he'd like Bakole to take on Moses Atama. That's what I heard, right? That's something that people were alluding to. Mirage says, I got Floyd beating Canelo right now. Oh my God, that ain't going to happen. Did Dave Allen expose Johnny Fisher? Of course he did. Johnny Fisher was fucking a hype job. He shows some good movement, but obviously the dude fucking is weak like Charmin, man. You're just upset Canelo got schooled. Why would I be upset Canelo got schooled? I never picked Canelo to beat Floyd. So why would I be upset? See, this is once again Mirage being a fucking idiot, right? I know you hate Canelo, but see, the difference between you and me is I'm not a fanboy of Canelo like you're a fanboy of David Benavidez. I liked Golovkin. Golovkin lost to fucking Canelo in a controversial robbery. You don't see me crying and fucking moaning about it every fucking day, but we know you would be. If David Benavidez got beat in a controversial fight by Canelo, you'd be all over fucking social media harassing every single fucking YouTuber, pushing the same narrative day after day for fucking years. You know that. Everyone in the chat knows it. You would not be able to sleep. You'd be fucking kicking and screaming in your bed at night. What did you think of Bohulchuk's performance? I personally thought it was pretty awful. Yeah, it was disappointing, right? Like, very disappointing. I know you're in with a long, awkward fighter, but once again, how are you fucking making adjustments? Get to that guy's body, right? Fucking break him down. Like, he ain't that fucking tough. He hasn't really been relevant for fucking years now. That was like a stay busy opponent for you. And all you did was not fucking much. But am I wrong? Wasn't the winner of that going to be put in position to potentially get an IBF world title fight? Because if that's the case, then at least we're going to get to see him in a big fight. And he's obviously going to have to be better than that. Jay Perez in the house. Yeah, Bohulchuk looked terrible. Laugh out loud. So let's scroll through and see what else we got. Speaking of the devil, Bohulchuk. Overall, this card, the Japanese girl, she looked good. Trinidad looked good, but I was also disappointed with him. I was hoping we would see a little more dynamite, a little more explosiveness in his performance. Same thing we wanted from Bohulchuk, right? Like all three of these guys, these performers, we were hoping would go in there and really make fucking statements, right? The Japanese chick with her pink hair, fucking Trinidad with the fucking iconic name, and then Bohulchuk, who we've seen, look far better against higher level opposition, like when he fought Virgil Ortiz. Now it makes you wonder if Virgil Ortiz just wasn't very good that day, right? And the things I said about Bohulchuk being limited were true, right? Because we've seen Bohulchuk get beat before by not great opposition. So, at this point, I would not put Bohulchuk in my top 5 at 154 pounds. But maybe I'm a prisoner of the day. Here's the fight card I was excited about. And obviously we knew this. This is a big Puerto Rican card. Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. Shakur versus William Zepeda. Puello versus Matias. Morel versus Iman Katiev. Like, those 4 fights are fucking dynamite. Dynamite. Right? Like, there's nothing not to like about this card. And once again, a ring magazine card. They're going to do this, I think, in the tennis place, so hopefully that will have a better atmosphere than obviously the previous one they had. But I think this is just a better fight stylistically. Berlanga Shiraz, I think, is just going to be a far more interesting fight. Shakur Zepeda could turn out to be a really boring fucking fight for sure, because Shakur is in it. Puello versus Matias could also be boring. Puello also fucking can stink a place out. And Matias has not looked unbeatable in his last few fights. But Morrell versus Katiev, I think that fight's going to be dynamite, right? Because Morrell, even though he's a skilled fighter, he's a boxer puncher. So he wants to land power shots. Obviously, coming off of his first loss to David Benavidez, he wants to make a statement. For Iman Katiev, the Australian-Russian fighter, this dude has a great amateur pedigree. Obviously, has been doing very good against the level of opposition he's been in with. But this is a huge fucking jump up, right? If he was to go in there and beat David Morrell, woo, what a fucking statement that would be. Holy crap. And then Mirage would be so pissed off because now that whole fucking David Morrell victory for Benavidez would just age like fucking sour milk. Right? So he better hope that Morrell goes in there and fucking blitzes this guy. And in truth, this is the kind of caliber of opponent Morrell always fought, right? Guys like this that weren't bad, but weren't top 10 opponents. Guys who hadn't really fought great opposition, guys that looked good on the resume, but when you look deeper, you realize that they just hadn't stepped up. This was their first legitimate fight, and it was probably too much to bite off at that point in their careers, and Morrell fucking destroyed those guys. But what I'm happy about is Ryota Tsutsumi back on a fucking Ring Magazine card in New York. Woo! Because he was the only fucking guy on that New York card that fucking did anything. And I admit, I was a little disappointed with his performance. I was hoping he would get rid of that guy in really explosive fashion. He didn't. But he still fucking threw way more punches than fucking anybody else on that fight card. Put his hands together, threw combinations, worked the body, worked the head, but he was against an awkward fighter, much taller and longer, with more experience. And the guy found a way to survive. It'll be interesting to see who Rietzo. Oh, here he is. They actually have the name. One of his to be mentioned, but here they have Eric Hanley. Let's check out this kid. I don't know anything about him, but we should give him some information. I'm confident Morrell stops him, though. Well, fuck. You should hope so, right? Where are we? They gave Floyd massive credit for beating Gatti after getting destroyed by Oscar, a hellacious trilogy against Ward, and not to count the other numerous wars he had, like the 2 Ivan Robertson wars. Well, you're giving fucking Floyd credit for beating Gatti. It's just ridiculous. Because Gatti was never world class. Never. I mean, I don't think anybody went into that fight thinking that Gatti was going to beat fucking Floyd Mayweather, because there was complete different levels to their games. I have Shiraz jabbing Bumlanga's head off and possibly stopping him. Well, it'll be interesting because Shiraz did not make fucking too many fans based on his last performance against Carlos Adames, somebody that most people felt he was going to beat, and he went in there and really shit the bed in that fight. This is another opportunity. He's getting right off the fucking gate. Thank you, Turki Al-Sheikh. If he doesn't go in there and make a statement versus Bumlanga, basically he's fucked. He's just going to be a hype job UK fighter that got a lot of attention but was never fucking any good. Sorry for the paragraph, Sean. No problem. Morrell is moving like a boss. I'm a fan. I don't know if fighting a guy who's not even ranked in the top 10 is moving like a boss. Like literally. Kadiev's not a top 10 168-pound fighter. Or, sorry, 175-pound fighter. Mirage was always pissed. But let's look a little closer at this scheduled fight card. Super middleweight. Bumlanga. How's Shiraz ranked number 4, right, by BoxRec, but he's never even fought at 175 pounds. Like, he's in front of fucking Iglesias, Plant, Pacheco. Munguia, who just got knocked out, is ahead of him. And then fucking Berlanga's behind him. It's like, give me a break. Fucking BoxRec is such a fucking clown show. You can't take anything they fucking do serious. It's crazy. They're fucking almost as bad as the WBC. Oh, man, they don't even list the fucking Ryota Tsutsumi fight on BoxRec. See, once again, fucking clowns. Clowns. The fight's clearly listed here, but not on BoxRec. But let's look at this man, Iman Katiev. 10-0, 9 KOs. 30-year-old Australian, obviously out of Russia. He has a fight scheduled for June, and then, of course, the Morrell fight in July. I don't know how that's going to work out. He's got a fight scheduled in Canada for the NFB, the North American Boxing Federation's light heavyweight title on ESPN in June. And then, of course, then he's got a July fight with David Morrell. Again, with that fucking double booking type shit. His best opponent that he's been in with was probably Richard Bolotniks, 27-1. And of course, the great David Benitez. Oh, not Benavidez, sorry, Benitez. Right? So he's not even a top 10 fucking ranked fighter right now. So when you put it in perspective, I mean, it's a cherry pick opponent that they're throwing Morrell in with, somebody that he should clearly beat, that he's being put in position to get a win. But I'm interested because I follow boxing. I know who Katiev is, so I'm curious to see how he's going to look against a real legitimate fucking fighter, and especially somebody that has some power. But if you look closer at this, I would not be surprised at all if this turns out to be like his fight versus Adios Yerbasaluni, the Kazakhstani fighter he fought, who was 16-0 with 11 KOs. He knocked him out and fucking retired that guy, stopping him in the 12th round and fucking sending that guy into, I think, what did he do to him? Send him into like a coma, like an induced coma. So, you know, potentially you could see the same thing happen to this kid too. I hope not, but you never know. Sometimes people bite off more than they can chew. What do you think about that? A fight scheduled for June and a fight scheduled for July. How's that going to work out? The only good thing you could say is one fight's in New York and one fight's in Canada. So at least it's a fucking short commute. But, okay. Obviously, last weekend we did have one good fight. Subaru Murata, Japanese fighter, fighting out of Japan. Matsuyuka Iota, ex-professional world champion, was the promoter for this fight card. He fought Yukinori Uguni, another ex-world champion, a coma. Yeah, there you go. A man is undefeated prospect with a great pedigree and a puncher. That's no cherry pick. But it is a cherry pick when you're fighting a guy who's not even ranked in the top 10. Like, literally, you're fighting a prospect. You just fought for, you know, an email title, basically, versus David Benavidez, and now you're fighting a prospect. I mean, come on. Morrell is king of the 10 Fight Club. He is. I like the Dominican versus Puerto Rican rivalry. Unfortunately, the problem with the Dominicans is they just are overrated. John Smith, what's up? Puerto Ricans obviously are just more skilled. Dominicans are pushing out a lot of fighters, but, you know, they look good, physical specimens, but technically they're fucking just not that good. And once they step up, they're exposed as being fucking limited, right? Generally, the majority of those Dominican fighters. Obviously, if you're from the Dominican, sorry, no shade, you can give me an example of a Dominican fighter that's proven me wrong, and then I'll push that narrative. But at this point, every Dominican fighter I see looks great until you put him in with legitimate competition, and then he looks fucking one-dimensional, technically not very fucking refined, and kind of overrated. What was I looking for? Oh, the Subaruta fight. Subaru. Yeah, he ended up pushing his career. That was a good win for him. Right there, you see it. 10-0 with 10 KOs, 28-year-old Japanese fighter. And obviously fighting Uguni, who was an ex-world champion, solid fighter. Yukinori Uguni, 22-3-3, stopped him in 6 rounds for the WBO Asian Pacific Super Bantamweight title. I mean, Japan, man, they are fucking dominating the smaller weight divisions. And the guy that he fought, you maybe remember this guy's face. Obviously, he's a little past his best. What was the big loss people remember? Probably his loss to Asawa for the IBF world title in 2017. After that, he fought John Rio Casimiro to a draw. Lost to some unknown dude, first round knockout, and bounced back this year with a win against a nobody, and then got beat the fuck out by Murata. But then again, I mean, Murata, who knows how good he is when you're fighting this limited opposition? 10-0, but against who? You know, it's kind of like David Morrell. You can look great against limited opposition, but what's going to happen when you step up and take on legitimate competition? Sean, I hear that Jin Sasaki has bricks for fists. Does he have a chance to beat Norman? Anybody with power has a chance of getting a victory, right? Like, potentially he could land a cracking fucking shot and knock Norman out. But I would say that there's very big difference between skill sets between those two fighters. Norman has way better skills. He's got faster hands and feet. Jin Sasaki is terrible with his defense, gets hit way too much, loads up on every punch. He fought the 140 Japanese fighter that is getting a lot of attention right now. The black Japanese guy, what's his name? Always wears like green and white. And Sasaki got knocked out against him. And then obviously moved up to 147. I would love to see Sasaki win a world title because, you know, I just know if these Japanese fighters, especially at bigger weight classes, go on to win world titles, guys like John Boxing are going to fucking just shit themselves. So I think it's fucking great, hilarious. If Jin Sasaki knocks out fucking Howard, it would be fucking hilarious. Hilarious. But I don't expect that to happen. I expect that, just like I expect Angelo Leo to go in there this weekend and win his fight, I expect Howard to go in there and beat Sasaki. Sasaki is way too unrefined, way too unrefined. You can go watch his fights on YouTube just to get a quick sort of sense of who he is, right? He's a guy that tries to fight like the Japanese welterweight Mike Tyson. But if you're going to fight like Tyson, you better fucking use high guard, fucking protect yourself, and fucking move your head a lot, right? To get in and under shots, to get in range, to land your big fucking hooks. Unfortunately, his feet aren't that good, so he doesn't have an easy time getting into range to land shots, especially against a guy like Norman, who could easily just use a little bit of fucking footwork just to move angles. Not a lot, but just subtle side-to-side movement, and you're going to throw Sasaki into a position where he's easy to fucking counter. So I don't expect Sasaki to win that fight, not by a fucking long shot. But then again, you never know how things are going to unfold, right? Anything can happen. We will see as we move forward. What's going on? So I thought I shared my screen, and then I had a PPT, and then I have this, and then I have that, and then, okay, there you go. The BoxRec shit threw me off. And here's the fight that, I know we're all fucking excited about. Ask yourself how the fucking PBC and the WBC have the fucking nerve to make a Manny Pacquiao versus Mario fucking Barros fight. Fuck me, man. I love Pacquiao, but like, this is garbage. Like, Pacquiao should not be getting a world title fight, just like fucking Errol Spence should not have been getting a fucking world title fight. Coming off of a fucking brutal knockout loss like Errol Spence did, moving up in weight, he definitely did not deserve a world title fight. Pacquiao obviously did he get knocked out? He didn't get knocked out by what's his face, the Cuban, but like, he was outgunned. It was a fucking easy victory, and then he's been retired since then. Like, what has he done that makes this fight relevant? The only thing that makes it relevant is people think that Mario Barros is fucking hot garbage, right? And is fucking easy to be beat. That's why guys like Devin Haney called him out. That's why fucking Tank Davis moved up to fight him, right? Because people feel guys like him are fucking limited, right? And easy pickings. The same way fucking they thought Errol Spence could beat Funduro because he's also fucking garbage truck juice. But yeah, Barros is pillow fisted. I think they see this as a very winnable for Manny. But Manny fought a fucking exhibition fight versus a kickboxer and looked like straight up garbage in that fight. I just, to me, this is just bullshit. This is what the PBC does. They try to jam fucking fights that are well past their prime down our throats for $80. And they think that people are so stupid because they know the names, because the names resonate, because at one time they were relevant. Now we're still fucking going to think that they're relevant. But they're not. Pacquiao's not relevant. Charlo's not relevant. Spence, not fucking relevant. Right? Don't bring back fucking Robert fucking Guerrero. Not relevant. Don't bring back fucking Andre Berto. Not fucking relevant. Sean, Manny is completely different, all-time legend to anything Spence could dream about. That don't make it any different. They're both fucking the exact same scenarios. And the fact that WBC legitimately pushed for those fights tells you everything you need to know. And of course, the PBC are the ones that fucking are trying to jam these bullshit pay-per-views down our throat. Mario Barros didn't look good in his last performance. You're right, Manny didn't look good in his exhibition. But I just want to see Manny, can't lie. Hopkins champ at 49. Yeah, but Hopkins had a style, right, where he could really make a fight ugly, win with low punch count. Mario Barros is much longer, much taller. He could just control the distance with his jab, really. And I don't think Pacquiao is the fighter he once was, where he's going to be able to, be so explosive with such fast feet, with short arms, where he's going to be able to get in range and land fucking really shots that are going to be effective. I think it's going to be a shitty fight, and I would hate to see Pacquiao look like Mike Tyson. And I know he's not as old as Tyson, but I'd fucking hate to see that. I hate to see fucking historical legends embarrassed in fucking bullshit fights. Ali versus fucking, what's his face? Who's that Jamaican motherfucker? Canadian, Jamaican, the Larry Holmes fight, Trevor Burbick. Like, nobody wants to see those fights, man. It's fucking disheartening, fucking hard to watch. I love the legendary Manny, but can't beat Barrios at this point. The amazing spring he had in his feet is completely gone. Fucking gone. Do you think Pac-Man's legs can't last 12 rounds, or will he really fade around round 6 or 7? Well, I think what he's going to do is look a little bit springy in the first 4 or 5 rounds. And then after that, he's going to be a lot more fucking flat-footed and a lot less effective. He's not going to fucking not have good endurance or anything anymore, but I just don't think he's going to be able to get in range to be effective and let his hands go and throw combinations and outwork Mario Barros. And if Barros knocks out fucking Pacquiao, even worse, then you're going to have fucking guys like JB and the fucking Floyd Mayweather dick riders literally use this as an opportunity to shit on Pacquiao. Because that's what kind of revolting fucking individuals these people are, right? Disgusting individuals that literally use these kind of opportunities to try to downplay and shit on a fighter because they're scumbags. Barros better not celebrate like he beat Manny in his prime. Fuck. I hope Manny is taking Ostarine. Well, he should be taking Ostarine just to make it an even playing field. Because at his age, fucking your testosterone naturally fucking fades, right? So you're not fucking the same as a guy who's 32, 33 years old. So, but yeah, I thought, fuck. There's a lot of people Mario Barros could be fighting, and Pacquiao should not be any of them. Like, to be fair, if Pacquiao was going to fight Amir Khan in Saudi Arabia, I would not be against that fight. Because Amir Khan, Manny Pacquiao at this time, both fucking faded, both basically retired, both once at a time, there was a real potential fight between the two of them. So if you wanted to do that, I would be cool with it. For me, that fight makes sense, right? It's marketable. You got their names together. You could push it. There's no legitimate title on the line, right? That fight for me, that would be okay. I'd be cool with it. I'd be hyped to see Pacquiao versus Amir Khan. They're both past their best, but that's the thing. They're both past their best. It's an even fucking playing field. But fighting Barrios, bullshit. Fuck that shit. Would Mayweather beat Barrios at this point? No. No, he wouldn't. I know some people like fucking Mirage will act like he would, but that's because he's fucking delusional. And then this fight, I saw fucking Devin Haney and his dad, specifically his dad, pushing fucking the same old bullshit. Like, we understand why for Boots, a Teo fight is good. This is the biggest name opponent on Boots Ennis' resume. This will be the fight that gets him more attention than any other fight on his career. This fight will get more attention than a fucking Howard unification fight. It'll get more attention than fucking Mario bum-ass fucking Barrios, right? The only fight that he could fight that would get him more attention was if he moved up to 154 pounds or potentially fought like maybe a Devin Haney. But we know Devin Haney don't want this fight. That's why Devin Haney and his dad weren't calling out fucking Boots Ennis. They're calling out fucking Teo, saying that's the fight that should be made. That's the fight we agreed to if the Ryan fight fell through. And maybe they did agree to it because putting Teo on that card, that seemed like the obvious sort of potential to the scenario, right? If Ryan Garcia does get beat or if Devin Haney does get beat, then you still have the potential Teo versus the winner in what could be seen as a big money fight, right? Does Pacquiao need the money? It's not that Pacquiao needs the money. He's running for fucking election. So those cost money to do that. So obviously you need money to run for election, to do the things you need to get voted in. But then once you become a politician in the Philippines, you make fucking money hand over fist as well. So, you pay money to get money, right? And he has his houses. He's got fucking everything. His kids fucking are finishing university. To be fair, I'm sure Manny has more than enough money to fucking live like a king in the Philippines because the standard of living in the Philippines is pretty fucking cheap. But he's in a scenario possibly like Floyd, that you lived once at this lifestyle, right? Maybe, coming down to this lifestyle to extend your money is not what you like or not what you're comfortable with. But with Floyd living in Vegas, that's a way different scenario. Manny lives in fucking General Santos. I've been to General Santos. General Santos, there's nothing to do in General Santos. You're going to go to the mall and go to Starbucks. Food is cheap as dirt. Like, where you're going to go to KTV. Man, you got a KTV in his fucking house, right? Like, there's one hotel that's nice that I stayed at right beside his gym across from the mall. Like, it's a one fucking horse town. There's not much going on in that town. You fucking have the bowling alley in your house, the movie theater in your house, your fucking KTV room in your house, the chef in your house. Like, he don't need to leave his house. And Filipinos, fucking big families and, always groups of people together, parties in his house. So respect to Teo for trying to do something Crawford ain't ever do, fight someone bigger than him while bigger man is in his prime. Oh, come on, Evan. People just love to fucking hate. Literally love to fucking find reasons to hate. Like, let's see if Teo actually takes this fight. If he takes it, he gets tons of fucking praise from me. Because him beating Lomachenko at 135, a unified champion, him facing Taylor and beating him at 140, an undisputed champion, and then going up and facing Boots at 147, a unified champion. Like, he easily has the best resume out of all the young fighters in boxing today. Better than Haney, better than fucking Tank Davis by a fucking country mile. Obviously better than Ryan Garcia. He just got beat by a fucking bum. Right? Ryan's biggest fights, 2 fucking losses and 1 fucking no contest. But talk is cheap. I want to see if Teo legitimately is going to take that fight. I'd fucking be much less surprised to see him and Devin Haney be the next fight to be made, because that would fall right under Turki Al-Sheikh's plan based on the last fight, right? live Pac, but it will probably be sad to watch. Like, I agree. Crawford would make easy work of Boots. Maybe Crawford also old. Exactly. They make Manny out to be broke. Like I can make 30K America and go live in the Philippines like a king with a few Rachel Donaires. Yeah, you could, especially if you don't buy a house, you just rent. Rent is cheap. There's a lot of real nice areas in the Philippines, depending on where you want to go, Cebu or Makati in Manila. Obviously, there's less places where it's even cheaper and you can stretch your money even more. But you can go to those places which are very Western. You got fucking all the restaurants, all the shops, the Starbucks, the coffee shops, the bars, fucking nice, clean apartments, modern and everything else. And not that expensive. Manny wants to fight because he's a legendary warrior. I highly doubt he needs money. Yeah, no, that's what he. And I think for Manny, he thinks if he could become a welterweight champion again, that his legacy fucking once again becomes that much more fucking iconic, right? Because he's doing what Floyd Mayweather hasn't done. Him beating Keith Thurman when he beat Keith Thurman is nothing that Floyd Mayweather ever did. Now, if he was to beat Mario Barrios at this time of his career to become a world champion once again, like that Barrios and that fucking Thurman fight, even his loss to the Cuban, he lost to the Cuban, but you're fighting a guy who was a world champion, a legitimate champion at that time. So you're taking on legitimate opponents. Floyd Mayweather ended his career with fucking Berto and fucking Conor McGregor. Like pathetic fucking fights in comparison to fighting Keith Thurman, an undefeated world champion, fucking Ugis, a world champion, and then now Mario Barrios. Like, if he wins, that's a huge accomplishment. But yeah, he don't need it. He don't need it. But you know, these fighters like Roy Jones, they just can't fucking walk away, man. They can't walk away. Here's the fight in September, which has obviously been confirmed. Inoue versus MJ MJ. Let's just call him MJ. I think this is a great fight. It's ironic because we know earlier last year they were pushing out specifically Eddie Hearn, all the hate that Inoue was ducking and afraid to fight MJ. Now the fight's already scheduled in Japan, and there's even talk about him facing Ball in December. Like 4 fights in 2025. Like what other top 10 pound for pound fighter in boxing is fighting that level of competition in a year, right? Nobody. So you got to tip your hat off to fucking Inoue. And then, of course, early 2026, a fight versus Junto Nakatani, which is a serious fight. Pac is going out sad. Not if he wins. If he wins, he's going out fucking on top of the world. If somehow he beats Barrios, the LDBCQ are going to be fuming. They'll start pushing Manny to fight Boots, laugh out loud. Of course they will. Of course they will. They will fucking demand that he has to fight Boots Ennis. But they didn't fucking push that Mario Barrios had to fucking do it. He was pretty broke at one time while he was enjoying huge success. That's what the narrative pushed out, but don't believe the hype. What's with the new Inoue? He wants to retire in 2027. Yeah, that's what he said. He wants to retire when he turns 35, I think he said. He must want to get a lot done. Well, if he fights MJ, basically he's fought everyone in this division. And then if he moves up to become a 5-weight world champion by beating Ball, he becomes a 5-weight world champion. You can't name 10 5-weight world champions in boxing history. And then to fight Junto, which is the biggest fight in Japanese boxing history. And at that point, it's only 2026. He still has 2 fights at least in 2026, and then potentially another 2 or 3 fights in 2027. So he can still do a lot in that period of time, especially what he's doing. I mean, hopefully we'll get like a Bam Rodriguez in 2027. I know Inoue has alluded to eventually fighting Junto. I just don't see it happening this year. No, it's supposed to happen the spring of 2026. One he stated that he wants to retire by 35, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 35. The LDBCQ. David Haye said he wants to retire when he's 30. He ended up, like most fighters, going on way past his prime. Yeah, well, that's the problem with guys like Inoue and David Haye at their point of their career. When they got to that age where they wanted to retire, that's when they literally were worth the most money possible, right? And now you're finally being offered millions and millions of dollars. How can you fucking walk away? Like, you put all that time and effort in to becoming a superstar fighter, right? I know John Boxing just said he's not a superstar. He's not a global. John, but okay. But all these black American fighters, they're fucking total global fucking superstars. But like literally, you get to this point where now you potentially make tens of millions of dollars. How do you walk away? You got to fucking cash out. It's the same reason Tyson Fury's coming back and is obviously going to fight Anthony Joshua in his next fight, probably early 2026, right? Because there's too much money on the fucking table. You can't leave that money on the table. Fuck that. You got to take it. You got to cash that check, man. You got to cash that check, even if it means fighting a little longer than you hoped. Look at B-Hop. B-Hop told his mom he was going to retire at what age? And then he fought till he was 49. David Haye, what a joke. David Haye was a great fighter. Cruiserweight world champion. Was he undisputed? If not undisputed, he was unified. Moved up to heavyweight. And right, him versus Klitschko, that's a serious fucking challenge, man. Klitschko is a behemoth compared to him. What happened to Nui supposedly being slow, John's favorite fighter? What happened? Well, what happened is that was all a lie to hate on Roman Gonzalez. He never fucking liked Inoue because Inoue's not black. He just hated fucking Roman Gonzalez and needed to find somebody at the smaller weight classes to try to use to shit on Roman Gonzalez. And unfortunately, there's no black American fighters worth fucking mentioning. So he had to use a Japanese fighter. And unfortunately, him hyping up Inoue only went on to fucking expose John as a fucking racist later on in his fucking career. And when that was fucking shown to everybody, we know what happened then. Then he fucking acted like a punk ass bitch and got my channel shut down. Right? And that doesn't say anything about me, but that says everything about him. David Haye, I think, could have caused Fury problems. Well, he couldn't cause fucking what's-his-face problems, Tony Bellew. So I don't know what problems he was going to cause fucking Fury, because I definitely know fucking Tony Bellew would not have caused fucking Fury problems. But I don't want anyone else but AJ Fury. Well, that's the fight to make, right? There's tens of millions of dollars in that fight. And why risk it against some mediocre fucking opponent that's not going to do anything to build that fight up? You throw that fight in fucking Wembley, it's going to sell out. It's going to be huge. AJ Fury. It's the Battle of the Brits. It's the biggest fight in British boxing fucking history, even though there's not a fucking world title on the line. He seemed to be somewhat fair to Naoya until the Fulton fight started to get talked about. Of course, because now he had a black American fighter he could fucking push for. So then the real truth, the real hatred came out. The fucking vitriol and fucking bullshit narratives. And we know how that fucking worked out for him. Embarrassingly so. I see Ring has Tyson Fury ranked first at heavyweight. Seems odd. Really? Well, there you go. The writing's on the wall. Haye was completely shot on those Bellew fights. Well, clearly. But you got to ask yourself, what did Bellew have left? Like, he looks good only because David Haye looked bad. But Bellew also wasn't fucking really relevant at that point of his career. Here we go. I see this big kicking and screaming. I saw some people moaning and groaning. Beeb was on his channel crying about the fact that obviously this fight is going through some hurdles. The fact that it was supposed to be in that big arena in Vegas fell through, apparently, and the date's been changed. But I'm like, people are so fucking emotional, man. they're always finding something to cry over when it comes to boxing. Like, obviously, Bud Crawford versus Canelo in that huge arena, excuse me, in Vegas. On Netflix would have been fucking unreal. It would have been unreal, right? Like, that would have broken Floyd Mayweather's record for most views ever in a fight, for sure. That would have done way more fucking views than the Manny Pacquiao or Conor McGregor fight, probably combined, because it is Netflix. It would have been iconic, historic. So of course we hope that's going to happen, but now of course things are changing and this and that. But I'm like, people, calm fucking down, man. Like, the fight's still going to get done. Who knows what the scenario is going to be? But why are people like so quick to fucking lose their shit? Fucking cry and moan over everything. Like, we will see how it pans out. We'll see what's going on. Dana White's got a fucking fight card that weekend. Maybe they'll push it to another weekend later. Who knows what's going to go on? I know they said they're going to do it the same weekend as Dana's card in Mexico. They did that last year, and Canelo's fight card did better than that Mexican fight card in Vegas. So who knows what's going to happen? But like, people just need to fucking chill, man. Relax, calm down. For a fight that a lot of people were shitting on and saying shouldn't happen, and that was a cherry pick. Now they're so fucking emotionally invested in it that they're kicking and screaming because maybe it's not going to happen the same date that you were told. And fuck, man, get a grip, people. I'm surprised to see Dana White isn't promoting Bud Canelo anymore. It's a company, Sela. I guess Dana didn't like the Saturday date. Well, because he's already got the UFC. Probably interfered with the UFC event, for sure. But then in truth, I mean, having Dana do a Friday event for boxing and then the Saturday event for UFC, it's also stretching too thin. I don't understand why they're just not having Eddie Hearn do it, right? Eddie Hearn done tons of fucking fights in America. He's done tons of fights with Canelo Alvarez. So I don't see what the fucking big deal is. But one thing I heard was that Turkey was trying to negotiate with Netflix and get a better deal with Netflix. So by pulling out, he's kind of strong-arming Netflix to, if you want this fight on your platform, then you're going to have to do better than you just offered us for this particular fight. I don't know what the truth to that is, but we've seen Turkey do this before when he talked about a fight being canceled and then all of a sudden 2 days later it was back on and everything went smoothly, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised if there's some politics involved, but who cares? Like, at the end of the day, when the fight gets made, whatever day it gets made, whoever fucking is promoting it, whatever fucking network it's going to be on, whether it's DAZN or fucking Netflix or whatever, who cares? Like, it ain't that fucking serious. Like, really, it's nothing to get so emotional about. But some people are always just looking for some reason to cry, moan, and push some fucking narrative. Oh, Turkey's got no money. That must be why the fight fell through. Fucking Saudi Arabia is broke. They just did like a $1.3 trillion deal with fucking Trump. And because of that, now they got no money to pay for fucking Canelo versus fucking Bud Crawford. Fulton beating Figueroa was a wide margin, shows you how special Inoue is. Yeah, well, that's it. I said in the breakdown, right? I hope Fulton wins. I didn't think he was going to. I thought Figueroa would be more physically dominant now that he was at a bigger weight class. But yeah, I mean, Fulton winning is great for Inoue because now that victory for Inoue ages fucking so well, right? And that's the thing. I don't need to hate on Fulton, just like I don't think Pacquiao should be hated on by Bud Crawford fans. By Floyd Mayweather fans. Just like, Bud Crawford fans don't need to shit on Errol Spence. Just like anybody that had a great win on their resume. It's counterproductive to then go and shit on the opponent, downplay them, and somehow act like they're garbage, because that is your best opponent. You should be hyping that dude up, making him out to be better than fucking he is, right? making him out to be fucking Godzilla for fuck's sakes. I think Naoe is going to have to fight more like he did against Fulton when he moves to 126. What do you think, Sean? Well, I think he's got the ability to adjust, right, and fight multiple ways. He's got a great jab. He can move, he can jab, right? He doesn't need to be so aggressive coming forward to land shots. He could be a little more, not cautious, but a little more patient in the way he attacked people. He could break you down better with jabs to the gut, jabs to the chest, jabs to the head, move, turn, wait for some counter punches, work that body. And obviously it's going to depend on who he fights, because different style fighters, he obviously fights differently, right? So I expect it depends on who he fights, and we'll see different versions of him. I don't see Inoue beating Espinoza at 126. Well, Espinoza is super tall, right? But at the same time, Espinoza can be hit. I mean, Inoue's got a great jab. If he gets in range for Espinoza, hitting him with fucking overhand shots. We saw Espinoza get dropped by fucking the Cuban, right? So we know he can get hurt. We know he can get fucking dropped. For Inoue, I mean, he can't stand in front of him. He needs to get in range, but then move side to side to turn Espinoza so that he's not going to be so susceptible to his uppercuts and shots to the body on the inside. But I don't expect that fight to happen anyway. I think Espinoza is probably going to move up to 130 pounds to fight Navarrete, opening up the WBO title probably for what's his face, Shushu at 126. Hit the likes. Come on, people. Hit the likes. We're having some real boxing talk here. I think Inoue beats Espinoza. Yeah, I don't doubt that he beats him, but I do think Espinoza is very dangerous because he is so long and so big. But because he's so long, his body is fucking right there to be hit, right? And we know Inoue doesn't have to be overly aggressive. He likes to be overly aggressive, but he doesn't have to fight that way. He can be more patient, high guard, use his jab, right? He could fight smarter if he needs to. And obviously that's going to depend on who he fights stylistically. And, it'll be interesting. Unlike some people, I mean, if Inoue ends up getting beat, it's not going to be fucking the end of my world. I mean, I don't need my fighters that I support to fucking go undefeated so I can go, ooh, yes, they're so good. They never got beat. We know some people want to push that narrative because they're so fucking insecure, right? It's like, think about WNBA. So Angel Reese gets booed, and all of a sudden now booing is somehow racial hate. Booing a fucking sports person is racial hate. When I played fucking baseball as a kid, we fucking constantly fucking attacked the fucking other team. The pitchers, the hitters, fucking never stopped. Pitcher's got a rubber nose, wiggles every time he throws. Like you fucking constantly said stuff. In basketball, sports, as kids, you constantly go back and forth. But now as a fan, you can't fucking boo a female fucking black WNBA player, or that is fucking racism and fucking whatever, fucking verbal assault or whatever. Like the weak fucking woke that's being pushed. When people talk about black fatigue, man, that shit is real. Fucking real. Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese, and all of a sudden the only thing I see on fucking social media and YouTube is fucking all these fucking black fucking sports pundits going in and making everything about race. What's fucking about race? It's a fucking foul. Get over it, man. Fucking black fucking fatigue. Oh, John, I'm so fatigued with you. Sean, have you seen that Shushu doesn't seem eager for the Espinoza fight? It's kind of weird since it's the perfect fight for a belt and in-house. Yeah, but, I think he knows that he just needs to bide his time and he's going to be put right in position for a vacant title. right? So I think that's, the modern boxer, right? They don't want to go through fucking tough times to earn their titles. They'd rather fucking go through easy doors that were open for them by their promoter. The wind's blowing is blowing racist nowadays. Oh, but this is not nowadays. This is like the last fucking 10 years, right? Like people are talking about how fucking white people in America are just sick and tired of walking on eggshells. And no matter what they do, they're always fucking wrong. Yeah. And it's not just America. White people in the world is less than 10% of the public, less than 10% of the global population. And then you have all of Europe, North America being fucking flooded by Muslim immigrants. This is just going to fucking create more fucking racial hate. And justified, because when people are fucking doing what they're doing, not respecting your culture, shitting all over your culture, how are you going to respond to it? Of course, you're going to respond to it negatively, right? When people act like you letting them immigrate to your country, giving them a great country to live in, and they have no respect for the culture that they're moving into. I live in Asia. I live in Taiwan. I'm not trying to change fucking the Taiwanese culture. I live in the Taiwan culture. I'm not here fucking protesting, fucking waving the Canadian flag, fucking moaning and groaning that everybody speaks fucking Chinese and not English. Like it's fucking crazy, man. People are mental. Didn't you just make a video about the Angel Reese called Angry Black Girl? But you're so innocent and would never make anything about race ever. Uncle Ruskus, see, once again, you being a black man are so fucking ignorant to reality that it's never your fault. It's always the white man's fault. It's always Whitey's fault, right? I know you say racist shit with your fucking friends constantly because I fucking been there. So coming off like poor fucking Angel, oh, life is so tough. I'm so sorry. Life's been so terrible for you. Apparently now you can move to Africa and they fucking want you to move there. So go. Right? America's so terrible. Fucking all the white people are so racist. You fucking can't stand living in the country. You don't want to fucking be called American anymore. But then, okay, fucking go back to Africa then. See how you like that. You'll be back to America fucking 2 weeks later. Fucking happy as fucking hell to be back in a racist fucking country. People are stupid as fuck. I made a point with that video, but of course you're too stupid to pick it up. The point was that tweet was pushed out by one of Angel Reese's fans, shitting on the white girl, right? And I watched a video and they were saying, imagine if you just changed the title to say the angry black girl and then see how people are going to respond to it. Because it's okay for black people to put out things derogatory towards fucking Caitlin Clark and use racial fucking slurs towards her as a white girl. But if we switch it, how are people going to react? You're proving my fucking point. Thank you very much. This is why people have black fatigue, because of people like you. Sean, I've yet to meet a radical Muslim so far. I'm from LA, not saying it doesn't exist. I don't think Islam is its core, is not compatible with Western civilization. I've yet to meet one. Hey, I have friends that were Muslim and blended in to Canada and fucking the States seamlessly. But I also never saw them fucking take a prayer mat and pray during the day either. So they weren't fucking hardcore practicing fucking Muslims, right? Now when I look at not just Muslims, but fucking Indians, Pakistanis, right, in Canada, who people talk about having a Sharia law in Canada, saying once we're the majority, that's what's going to happen, right? That's what people are saying. You say this, and all I know is when I lived in Canada, we couldn't have a Christmas tree in City Hall anymore because it offended people. Who the fuck did it offend? Who did it offend? It could either be Muslims or Jews. There's no one else it could have fucking offended. It was either Muslims or fucking Jews. You can't have a Christmas tree. Give me a fucking break. It's a seasonal tree. Fuck off. And you can't say Merry Christmas because that's offensive. Come on, man. You come to Canada, if you get offended because I say Merry Christmas, go fucking home. Because you're in the wrong fucking country. Because if that offends you, you're a weak ass motherfucker that just should fucking stay in your fucking repressive fucking dictatorship country where if you say one word wrong, they're going to fucking kill you in the street because you deserve to be in that country. Because an open country that allows you to fucking speak your truth, but not allow other people to speak their truth, that's the fucking issue. People want everything their way. It's got to be my way. What do you mean it's got to be your fucking way? You came to a progressive country where everyone has a fucking voice, not just your fucking voice. Go fuck yourself. People are stupid, unfortunately. Unfortunately. The more you fucking meet people and the more you fucking get to know people, the more you appreciate fucking animals. Right? Because animals are not fucking conniving, deceiving, fucking disgusting. They're just instinctual. If they kill, it's not because they're fucking doing it because they're pricks. They're doing it because that's how they feed. That's part of their lifestyle. But people are disgusting, man. Like, oh, fucking no shame. That's the problem with modern people now. No fucking shame at all. Schizophrenics flee oppression and then try to turn their new home into what they left. Imagine that, right? I've traveled to other countries and I appreciate seeing their culture, but I didn't want to live there because my country was better. It was a better country to live in, cleaner, freer, better. Maybe it was colder, but you can't have fucking everything. Can't have everything. In some countries, people are stoned, not by weed, but by stones. Well, women, right? I look at all those fucking gays and lesbians for Palestine. It's like, you people are the stupidest motherfuckers ever. If you, a gay, lesbian, transgendered, went to Palestine, you would never fucking leave that country alive. They'd kill you. In most fucking Muslim countries, you'd fucking be killed. A woman who does anything that steps out of line can be stoned by her neighbors. If you fucking do something you shouldn't do, your brother and father will fucking kill you for the fucking family. And I saw that in Canada with Indian families. Not killing, even though that did happen, but I didn't obviously see that. Just read the stories. But like, this is Indians, not Muslims. But it's this radical fucking belief that some cultures have, right? Where women are second-class citizens. But you move to Canada, where now you're equal. And you want to change it back to fucking the country where now you'd be stoned for fucking being on the street without a man or your father. Oh my God. Where they're going to want you to cover your face and only show your eyes. Oh, okay. It's fine. I don't care. But like, you're definitely not living your best fucking life. That's for sure. What's your opinion on Israel-Gaza war? No judgment, just curious. Oh, I think people are stupid. This war is not new. It's been going on for fucking decades now. And people act like somehow Palestine, Israel is fucking something that just happened 2 years ago. It's like, people, where have you been for fucking the last 40 fucking years? Like, literally, this shit goes on consistently in a cycle. Palestine, Israel came to a peace accord, right? Israelis murdered their president. Palestinians murdered their prime minister. The two guys that created a peace accord between those two countries were both murdered by their people. So, like, as an outsider, I don't fucking care. Obviously, peace in the Middle East would be better for everybody. Donald Trump, right? Let's make money, not war. Yeah, for sure. But as far as those two countries, most fucking Israelis I met traveling the world, fucking dickheads. Dickheads. Not to say they deserve to be fucking targeted by all the fucking Muslim countries around them, because they don't. But a bunch of fucking self-absorbed fucking dickheads that think fucking the world revolves around them. And I met a lot of Israelis traveling through fucking India and Thailand. And obviously I met some good people. I traveled with two guys, right? And they were excellent, really nice. But even they avoided their people because they know the majority of these people together didn't want to hang out with anyone else. They just hung out together and they were dickheads. So, but of course, you can find dickheads from every country around the world, wherever you go. That's like being gay and supporting Hamas. Just go over there and see how you get treated. Just plain ignorant. Fucking, they're stupid, man. But this is university students that fucking, their mommy and daddies are paying for their education so they can go out and wear fucking Palestinian clothes and do all kinds of things. And yeah, you know, these people. University was fucking bullshit when I went to university, and that was fucking 30 something years ago. I can only imagine how degenerate it is now. I see all the uproar on Twitter about immigration and how Muslims are trying to take over the country. But in real life, 99% of foreigners are normal people trying to provide for their families. You say that, but then you look at countries like Sweden, Norway, England, Canada, where fucking you have these huge fucking protests, right? With Muslims fucking protesting what? What are they protesting? You fucking were allowed to immigrate to these countries, and now you're fucking protesting what? What are you upset about? The country's not Muslim? Yeah, it was never fucking Muslim. In many countries, illegals come from, you get physical punished for entering illegally. Well, that's the thing. People that fucking are American that are moaning and groaning about illegals, what do you think would happen to me if I was illegally in Taiwan? I'd be fined and then I'd be fucking deported. Like, every country in the world is going to throw you in jail, fine you, deport you. That's literally every single fucking country in the world, except America under fucking the Democrats, or Canada probably now as well. I've never met a Muslim in real life that complains about people celebrating Christmas. People complain. I lived in Vancouver. It wasn't a Christmas tree. It was a seasonal tree. You can't say Merry Christmas. You got to say season's greetings. Like, somebody's complaining. Obviously, we know it's the loud fucking squeaky wheel minority, but that obviously negatively shines on everyone. When you have Black American people going into stores, stealing shit in mobs and doing bullshit fucking stuff on social media, that reflects negatively on fucking Black America. Even though we know it's not all Black America, but it still negatively reflects. It's all over social media. Whenever you go on social media, you just see this one video after another, after another, after another. It's fucking nonstop. It reflects negatively on Black Americans. And that's why Black Americans also say they have Black fatigue. It's not just non-Blacks that are saying it. 50,000 casualties is crazy. As an American, I don't want our money funding a war anymore, but it seems like America is in bed with Israel. Well, of course they're in bed with Israel. England and the US put Israel in the Middle East so they would be able to control the oil flow of the Middle East. So they would have a player in the Middle East. If they didn't do that, they would have fucking been on the outside looking in, and the Muslims would have controlled everything. And then Western fucking worlds would have had no power at all. Right? So they did what they had to do. The Jews were used, and now they've been put in a position that's awkward for them. But that's always been the position since fucking post-World War II. Nothing's changing. Teo and Gary, Antoine, Teo, Boots, Teo versus Devin. What Black American would you like to see Teo take his first in his next fight? I'd like to see him fight Boots, right? Because I think for Boots, it's great to have a name opponent. Obviously, I think the Antoine Russell fight would be fucking probably the best fight to watch, right? But obviously not the most marketable and not the biggest money fight. And then, of course, Devin Haney, it would be boring because Devin Haney is definitely not going to fight fucking exciting against Teo. Trump just visited South African president just visited Trump and called him out on murdering of white farmers, and nothing happened to the murderers. Yeah, like I've been saying this for years. I got a video. You can go watch it. White farmers have been getting killed in South Africa for the last 20 years. And it only has continued to fucking increase more and more as time goes by. Right? Like, They're doing the same thing to South Africa now that they did to Zimbabwe. If you don't know Zimbabwe, go check out what happened to Zimbabwe. It was the richest country in Africa, and now it's a shithole because Africans don't know how to fucking maintain anything. That's not a racial statement. That's a statement of fact. Black Africans will tell you that because they don't have a word in their fucking vocabulary for maintenance. So you build something and it all falls apart because nobody fucking maintains it. Right? And that's what's happening in South Africa now. It's being fucking exploited by China, robbed and raped, and fucking the country's falling apart. They don't have water, fucking electricity consistently. Team Haney, BFTB, and other LDBCers are saying Tio is ducking Devin. Of course they will. Clout chasing like fucking crazy. The reality is, why would Tio want to fight Devin Haney? Fuck Devin Haney. He was just in one of the worst fucking fights in 2025. He's lucky if anybody's going to want to fight him after that performance, right? And if anyone's going to want to pay for him to fight. If I was Tio, I'd much rather fight Boots. It's more dangerous, but it's going to be a way better fight. Boots is going to be there fucking throwing bombs, right? And Tio potentially could have openings. He don't want to fucking chase fucking Devin Haney around the ring. Fuck that. It'd make more sense for him to fight Rolly Romero than fucking Devin Haney. But the LDBC, they're getting paid fucking from the Devin Haney family. They're just going to fucking continue to blow him like they did fucking Spence and they did Deontay Wilder. Woke leftards are the ones that probably complain the most besides some of the radicals. The most radicals come in a country, the more radical country becomes. Do you see Devin fighting Jermaine Ortiz did versus... Do you see Devin fighting like Jermaine Ortiz did versus Tio? Fucking worse. Worse. Devin would run harder than he ever has against Tio. Yeah. Tio's fucking way more dangerous than fucking Ramirez. He's fucking way faster, way more explosive. If he ran like that against Ramirez, what's he going to do against Tio? He's not going to fucking want to be anywhere close in range to Tio so Tio can counterpunch him. He's going to fucking run around the ring like fucking... what's the bird? I've met Israelis too, Sean. When I used to work in the Valley, some of them are very entitled, rude, etc. I'm sure that's how they all are. Not how they all are, but I would never act that way visiting a country. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I live in Taiwan. I know John and many people come here and think I'm a racist fucking prick. I mean, that's your projection, nothing to do with me. When I say I have black relatives, I do. But I come to Taiwan and I'm a typical Canadian. I respect the culture I live in and I carry myself very well because I fucking reflect my culture. I don't want to come here and have Taiwanese people think all Canadians and all fucking white people are fucking jackasses, right? Because I don't want to reflect negatively on my country. Then I watch a video of Africans in fucking Japan, and because you can just go to stores and you pay credit cards, there's nobody watching, people do what they legally do. But then these guys just fill their carts and walk out and don't pay, right? You do this shit, it's going to soon make life miserable for everyone. Because then it's going to be like the States, where every store you go to is going to be fucking behind plexiglass with a small window to pay. And soon stores, you won't be able to fucking get in. It'll be locked. And they'll let in 1 or 2 customers at a time. The door will be locked. You'll have to pay before you fucking get out. And it's going to be fucking like that everywhere in America. And people are going to moan and groan and say it's fucking racism. No. But this is what you're creating. You're creating this, right? Because I live in Taiwan. I don't try to steal and take advantage of the culture because there's opportunities for me to do it. No, because why would I do that? I respect the country I live in. I'm not trying to fucking rob them and take advantage of them and show fucking my people to be fucking assholes. No. Tio been ducking that dream smoke since 2022. Whatever. Fucking Tio fought fucking Lomachenko, and then people acting like he's supposed to fight Devin. When was he going to fight Devin? when he already had a fucking fight that was ordered by the WBO to fight fucking George Kambosos, he never had an opportunity to fight fucking Devin. Because the fight with fucking Kambosos was ordered before he fought Lomachenko. The winner of Lomachenko Tio was always mandated to fight fucking George Kambosos. Devin Haney, that fucking email title motherfucker, was never in line for a world title fight at that point. He could have potentially got a fight versus Kambosos after Kambosos beat, obviously, Tio, and eventually he did get it, right? But he was never in line to get a fucking Tio fight. I know you're Damon. Salute. Yesterday I went to Walmart and I had to leave because I couldn't have someone open the plexiglass for me. Yeah. Like literally, that's fucking what's happening. Like the country is becoming worse and worse like that. Like soon, most people are not going to go to stores to shop. They're just going to buy everything online and have it delivered to their fucking house. Right? And the only people that are going to suffer are poor people who don't have credit cards and unfortunately aren't going to be able to do that. And who's creating this situation? Fucking poor people trying to take advantage of fucking opportunities in America. And they're shooting themselves in their foot. We watch those movies like fucking, what was the crazy movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where the girl had 3 tits and you have like 2 complete worlds, one underground and one above. Literally, that's what these people are creating in America. I don't want to live in a world like that. So there should be fucking rules. People need to follow rules. And we should live in a world that's fucking safe and comfortable for fucking everyone. Total Recall, yeah. Haney is a modern day Corey Spinks, a total weakling. And who wanted to watch fucking Corey Spinks fight, right? Like the only thing that made him interesting was his relationship, to his father. But otherwise, nobody likes that style. They never fucking did. That's why Sugar Ray Leonard was very successful. But the other Black American fighter who was the boxer of the fucking 1976 Olympics, I can't remember his name, Howard or something, why he never developed into anyone. Because he was a boxer mover with no power who was way too defensive. And people didn't give a fuck, didn't want to watch him. Whereas Leonard, with his aggressive boxer puncher style, became a fucking icon, a superstar. Damon somehow continues to get goofier. The way Gary fought in his last fight, I'd have him favored against Tio. Well, I'm sure Tio would make sure he did drug testing, so I don't expect him to fight the same way he fought in that fight. I don't think he's going to be throwing 1,000 punches until he ran into Duran. Alan, morning. Chicano U-turn, what's up? But, yeah. What else? Oh, yes, Bam Rodriguez got his fight scheduled against some unknown African fighter. He could have moved up and took on Junto Nakatani for that WBC title. Could have forced the WBC to mandate that fight. But now he's going to fight Unification versus Cafu. But yet, in America, nobody even knows who fucking Cafu is. You beat him, how much recognition are you going to get? These are the same Americans that fucking think Tank Davis is great and he's never unified. So you unifying against an unknown African fighter, how much are they going to praise you? Probably not much. I know what's at stake, and he's a world champion himself. Those are the type of fighters that gets me up 100%. Yet, he's beat one quality fighter and he fucking won a split decision. My question is, how come Tanaka didn't get a rematch, right? That would have made more sense. Like, I just wish Bam would move up to 118 because there's nothing going on at 115. Man, when I grew up young, it used to be a skill to steal. Also, they would follow and chase you, detain you, call the cops. Nowadays, people just grab shit and walk out. No type of legal punishment. Facts. Harder coil, facts. By 25, Roy and Tony and B-Hop on the resume. By 25, Ray Leonard had Benitez, Hearns, and Duran. but Haney, the most accomplished 26-year-old, by beating Kambosos. Well, he also beat Lomachenko. Stealing destroys freedom. It does. Low IQ culture will never understand that. Well, because these fucking dumbasses think getting something for free, they think short term, they don't think long term. And robbing Loma. Haney didn't rob Loma, the judges did. That's true, Wayne. Stringer from above, Machado cooked your boy John Boxing so bad he deleted the comments. Roy, the big G is no joke. Salute, bro. What's up, Bruce Gas? Welcome. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that people would rather live in a fucking country that was shit and then moan and groan that fucking it's because of racism. Yet it's because you're turning the country to shit. Congratulations. So True School is going to be excited this weekend. Angela Leo against an old fucking no longer relevant Japanese fighter. I do expect Angela Leo to win this fight, but if he doesn't look impressive, that would not be a fucking good thing, because this fight is really just you think about who he's fighting. Like, if we look at the rankings, he's fighting a guy that's not even ranked fucking in the top 15, I don't think. Let me quickly look. Featherweight. This is BoxRec, so this is not to be confused with any legitimate rankings. But right now, Angelo Leo is number 3. On BoxRec, he's fighting Tomoki Kameda, who is ranked number 19. 19. But people are going to act like somehow this is a legitimate opponent. Like, we just had Omar Trinidad, ranked number 7, fight last weekend. We just had Mikito Nakatano, ranked number 9, Japanese fighter, look fucking great in his last fight. Reese Alim just bounced back at number 10. Bruce Carrington's at number 11. Argentino, up-and-coming young superstar, Micro Crela is number 12. Up-and-coming Cuban, Diane Gonzalez, is at number fucking 13, right? Like, in the top 13, you got some legitimate opponents. Figueroa, Neary, obviously unification with Fulton, unification with Ball, unification with Espinoza. But he's fighting a fucking dude who's number fucking 19. And we're going to act like he's the best fighter at 126. He's a superstar. He's doing real things. What fucking real things? He's going to Japan because that's where he's going to get paid the most money to travel to Japan, because they're hoping to get a world title. So Kameda is going to pay more money, hopefully, to beat him so that they can make fights maybe with a Nui, right? Where are we? Shout out to John Boxing, watching from the bushes. Yes, he is. Stringer from above. Yes, sir. Facts, bro. Rest in peace, Georgie O'Connor. Why I know that name? Who's Georgie O'Connor? What's his face just passed as well from the TV show from Boston, Cheers, the bar. What's his name? George. Oh, is that who you mean? George, is that his name? From Cheers? Norm. Yeah. You're getting old when all the people you grew up watching on TV are kicking a bucket, eh? It's too bad. Norm. Female British boxer, only 25, cancer. Oh, okay. That is unfortunate. 25 is way too young to be passing. NFL owners, Colts owner just passed away. How old was he? Like fucking 90. Yeah. I feel more sad for the young girl. Only 25. Rich billionaire fucking football owners. I'm sure his life has been okay. Oh, 65. Not that old. That's only fucking 8 years older than me. Jim Irsay was 65. 65. Yeah. I'm really wanting to see this guy from Argentina fight. There's quite a few good young up-and-comer fighters at 126 pounds. This kid, 24 years old, 15-0, 12 knockouts. Obviously, these guys haven't fought the best opponents, but he beat this guy who obviously Shushu fought, and Shushu did not look good against Sagawa. Uh, Obviously, he beat him pretty convincingly. 80, 72, 79, 73, 78, 74. And then his last opponent, 22, 1-1, stopped him in the 10th round. Kid looks good. Then you got, of course, Carrington. Then the Cuban kid here, 17-0, 15 KOs. He don't look like a killer, but you never know. And then the Japanese kid here, we just saw him recently look fantastic on his card. 13-0, 12 knockouts. He killed this guy, Pedro Marquez Medina, knocked him out in 4 rounds, making a fucking statement. I just want to see these guys fight each other, right? And then you got Trinidad, who just fought last weekend. 19-0, 1 draw, 13 KOs. Pretty big, right? 5'9", 70-inch reach. Obviously beat Espinoza, went the distance. Definitely did not look fucking great, I don't think, in his performance. Won, but, I just can't wait to see guys like this fight. Trinidad, Nakano, Carrington, Cuellar, Gonzalez, these young future fighters from these divisions, just so we can get a sense of how good these kids really are, right? I'm always excited to see these guys that just never have stepped up yet face somebody at a similar level to them. Just, winner moves forward. Loser, hey, takes a step back. I only stole from stores, never from anyone I knew. Also, it was to relate to my friends who some couldn't afford shit. I had a family and didn't have to steal. As I got older, I realized it was wrong. If you died at 65, you were probably a cokehead. Come on, Alan. 65. Like, yes, the average person lives to be, I think, like 77, 78. But 65 is not that young. There can be all kinds of things that led to your death. I mean, look, the boxer was 25 and she died of cancer. I don't know how Ursay died, but he died in his sleep? Fuck. If I die, I hope that's how I die, in my sleep. I know Lily won't like it, but for me, I will love it. I prefer it that way. I'd rather not go through some painful, long fucking ordeal. Nobody wants to suffer in life. We suffer enough living. Who wants to suffer in dying? Here's the heavyweight rankings. We're talking about Moses Atome earlier. He's not on these rankings. But Fabio Wardley, who is going to be fighting Justice Hooney, is right there at number 10. Ajagba at 9, Bakoli at 8, Jang at 7, Hrgovic at 6, Joshua at 5, Ajit Kabiel at 4. That dude probably should be higher. Parker, Dubois, and Tyson, and then Usyk. Really, I think Tyson Fury should probably be at number 3 right now, and Dubois and Parker should be ranked above him. But Ring Magazine, it's owned and operated by Saudi, so it's no surprise. If you had Fury at number 3, the fight between him and AJ just looks that much more interesting as well. And then, of course, you have Dubois number 1 versus Usyk, who's the champion. So that just becomes much more interesting as well. Because nobody wants to see a fucking trilogy between Usyk and Fury. We already saw that twice. I want to see Usyk fight Dubois and Parker. I'd love to see Kabiel fight Hrgovic, right? I'd love to see Wardley Hooney. That's a great fight. And as I said earlier, I hope that Moses Atome takes on the winner. Moses Atome taking on fucking Wardley and Hooney winner is great. And of course, catapult him right into the top 10, probably top 5, because we know Dubois is going to lose, Parker's going to lose, AJ is probably going to lose. Hrgovic is fighting somebody soon, but I can't remember who. Is it going to be Kabiel? If he fights Kabiel, he's going to lose. And then we're probably going to get a rematch from Ajagba and Bakoli, so one of them is going to lose. So yeah, the opportunities to rise in the heavyweight division are there. It's crazy. We all have to go someday. How do you see the Dubois Usyk rematch going? I think Usyk's going to kick Dubois' ass. Such a joke seeing Fury at number one. Well, yeah. Like, you lost back-to-back fights and you've basically been out of the ring. It's kind of hard to justify you being fucking number one based on that. But that's the problem with all these sanctioning bodies and fucking rankings, and the way they do stuff is just fucking ridiculous, right? Like, Dubois has been on a fucking tear. So I think everybody had him number one. Just now that we know Fury's coming back, somehow he catapults past him. Give me a fucking break. Haney versus Shakur is the best fight to make. Oh my God. If you want to fucking punish prisoners in jail, that's the fight to make. Shakur versus Tank is the fight to make. Do you think Dubois ducked Parker? Yes, he did. Blatantly. I even said, right, when that fight was scheduled, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe Daniel Dubois volunteered to fight Parker at this point of his career, knowing that if he just sits around, his next fight is going to be a fight against Usyk, right? Like, Parker is way too dangerous, and then he pulls out, and then, of course, signs with Usyk next. And it was like, you totally ducked, you fucking motherfucker. And like, you only have yourself to blame because no one forced you to sign to fight Parker. You did that thinking that you're like some OG. And then because you're such a dumbass, you did something. And then in hindsight, you fucking realize it's probably not the best thing you should have done. I thought Hrgovic was taking on Frank Sanchez. Ah, that's right. Yes, it's Frank Sanchez. I thought so too. Too risky. Zhang, Bakoli in China. Why not? Why not? Seems like a good time. Yeah, I think fucking Zhang, he's going to pull in big crowds in China. Bakoli's legitimate. That would be a good fight. When Dubois beats Usyk, Parker will be in his first defense. Well, Parker's going to be whoever's first defense. It's been mandated by the WBO, I think. So if Dubois wins, he's got to fight Parker. If Usyk wins, he's got to fight Parker. What is the best fight this weekend? Let's see. I got my prediction league here, so let me scroll through. There you go. Let me show you. Give me a second. This is easily the best fight of the weekend, but no one's going to talk about it, and even less people are going to watch it. Right here, Oscar Collazo's division. Oscar Collazo, the best man in the division. Obviously, Melvin Jerusalem, another world champion, someone Collazo beat. Other Filipino fighter, Pedro Tanduran, currently a world champion, 17-4-1, 28 years old. He's going to be fighting one of the Japanese brothers right here, who's trying to reclaim his championship. Shinjiro Tsukioka, who he beat to win the world title. 11-1, stopped once, 9 KOs, 25 years old. Obviously, he faced Pedro Tanduro in his last fight, got stopped in the 9th round for the IBF title. Now is going to rematch Tanduran in a rematch. That fight is easily going to be the best fight of the weekend. Like, come on, people. You know those small weight guys, they fucking let hands go, right? Here, let's just go to YouTube right now. I'm sure the first fight is right there. We can go watch the first fight just to give us a concept of what we're going to get in the second fight. Ring Magazine's got a good Anui breakdown. Did you guys see it? And the guy that did it, you know him. He has his own channel. What's his face? American guy. Always does great breakdowns of fights. Has a good voice for it. Fuck, I can't remember his name. And he always like makes like gangster comparisons, talking about how he can't predict blah 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 blah. But he's working with Ring Magazine, so he just did a breakdown for Inui. Looks fucking great. Tan Durin versus Tsukioka. Of course, you don't listen to me, right? What's wrong with you? Everybody can understand what I'm saying is English. Come on. What's wrong with your English? Stupid fucking computer. Pedro Tandurin versus there it is. Oh, but you don't have the full fight. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Oh, why did they do that? Right? Like, man, that's some bullshit. Where's the full fight, for fuck's sakes? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can find it and let me know. But they have a highlight. 8 minutes. That's no good. Oh, that's not even a highlight. It's some dude fucking talking about the fight. Bullshit. I'm sure it's there, but you know the problem trying to find those Japanese fights. Literally, the fucking video is in Japanese. So it's not always easy to find. When if Dubois beats Usyk, it should line up a trilogy. If Dubois beats Usyk in the rematch, it'll only favor him more in a trilogy. Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, it's probably not a bad thing to see the Parker fight and give Usyk an opportunity to, take a break. But we'll see. Obviously, if the fight happens that way, then you expect the WBO title to be stripped, and then they probably won't be fighting for all 4 belts, but only 3. But that shit's happened constantly, so it'd be nothing new, right? Same old shit. But yeah, I think this strawweight fight's going to be good. I hope that the Japanese kid goes out there and wins, and then another Japanese world champion. Let's do it. Sugar Nunez is also fighting next Wednesday. Good fight. Yeah, he's fighting a Japanese fighter too, right? The kid that's ranked pretty high. Where is he? Where is he? Sugar Nunez. Yeah, Rikishi, the 30-year-old fighter. 16-1, 11 KOs, 30 years old, 5'9.5", with a 71.5-inch reach. Pretty good. He's pretty tall. His only loss coming all the way back in 2018 in his 3rd fight where he got stopped in 2 rounds. So obviously you can't read too much into that loss because obviously he's done a lot since then. Ricardo Nunez he beat, Michael Magnesi he beat, and now obviously Eduardo Nunez. Nunez is a monster, but he's really fucking unorthodox and not very skilled. 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. So he's giving up about 4 inches in reach. So the Japanese fighter, he's going to be fighting behind a long jab, trying to catch fucking Eduardo Nunez coming on the inside. Nunez obviously lost back in 2018, so similar situation. Obviously, you can't read too much into that because, obviously it was early in his career. Since then, he's beat Oscar Escandón, stopped him in 2 rounds. Miguel Mariaga, who obviously came up multiple weight classes, stopped him in 6. And now Rikishi for that vacant IBF title. I hope Rikishi wins, just like I hope fucking Jinjiro Suzuki wins, just like I hope fucking Saka wins. I would love to see more Japanese fucking world champions, just so that we know guys like John Boxing are gonna fucking lose it. You get like 15, 20 Japanese world champions in boxing. And then I'm going to be able to fucking just go Japanese boxing, #1, dominating the sport. More champions than Black Americans. Oh, that must be hard to swallow. And you know, the Japanese boxing game is just going to get better and better. It ain't getting worse. It's just continuing to heat up. When is the pound for pound Loma going to fight again? He may retire, right? Like there's talk about, obviously, the Muratalla is fighting for the title to become like an interim champion. He just won. Yeah, he just won. So now he's the interim champion. And so obviously if Loma comes back, he's got to fight Muratalla. But if he retires, then potentially we're going to get Keyshawn Davis versus Muratalla in unification. So that shit would be fire. He quit in the first one. So how do you favor him in the rematch? He got beat every round. Yeah, no, I think Dubois going to get fucking his ass beat. Boxing has some good fights in the next month or so, but July has the big events. Yeah, the summer looks good though, right? June and July going to be good. August, September. Loma, a first ballot Hall of Famer, and it just burns some people's asses. It does. Without his amateur background, I'm not sure Loma is first ballot. Japan is producing some greats. Smash the likes. You know, the funny thing is, I just saw John Boxing once again make a video shitting on Golovkin, trying to act as if Tank Davis has done more than Golovkin. Golovkin is a 2-time middleweight unified champion. Tank Davis is a 2-weight world champion, never fucking unified. He wants to say he's a 3-weight world champion. Well, if he's a 3-weight world champion, then Golovkin has the most world title defenses in middleweight boxing fucking history, surpassing B-Hop. Right? So, you know, we can both play that fucking game. And he says he's irrelevant. But yet the reason the Olympics in America next is having boxing is because of fucking Golovkin. Thank you very much, Gennady Golovkin, for fucking getting the Olympics to fucking re-put boxing into the Olympics. Because if it wasn't for him, there would be no boxing in America's fucking next Olympics. And that would be fucking terrible. If Ryan and Devin don't match up next, what do you want to see those two do? Maybe a Blair Cobb opponent. Not sure what role he does. To be fair, I don't care if I ever watch either one of those two fucking guys fight again. Truthfully. If I never see fucking Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney fight, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. There's no fucking fights that really interest me that much. And as far as the fight between the two of them, I fucking could care less. I don't think the first fight was that good. I don't think the next fight would be fucking very good either. GGG has secondary title belt defenses. They don't count. Or Tank is a 3-division champion. Yeah, that's my point. If you're going to say Tank is a 3-division champion, then you need to say that Golovkin has the most title defenses in middleweight history. If you don't want to give Golovkin credit, then you can't give fucking Tank Davis credit, right? It's the WBA title that Golovkin defended, which is the same title that B-Hop had. So historically, he defended the exact same belt that Bernard Hopkins did, right? But yeah, let's be fair. It was a baby belt at the time Golovkin had it, because Felix Sturm ducked and dodged and fucking held that title and refused to fight Golovkin for fucking years. The reason Tank Davis isn't a 3-weight world champion, because he refused to fight legitimate opponents and just wanted to cherry pick fucking titles. He still hasn't beaten anyone that was a champion at 135 pounds. The only champions he beat were at 130 pounds when he beat fucking Petraza. And then, I mean, I guess you can kind of count Leo Santa Cruz, even though that's the title you had. You gave it up, he won it, then you beat him to get it. So it's pretty fucking shaky. Pretty shaky. Really, the only legitimate champion you beat for a title was fucking Petraza. Who else? Right? And this is me hating on Tank. No, this is Tank's fucking career. That's what he did. That's what he did. When people say Devin Haney has a better career than fucking Tank Davis, it ain't a lie. Devin Haney Tio have better careers than Tank Davis. They've done more. You might not like it, but that don't make it fucking wrong. That don't change it from being true. But, some of these dudes, man, they fucking refuse anything just to push a fucking narrative. Here we go. I saw this one. I thought, man, this is some bullshit. First of all, Floyd Mayweather is not number fucking 4. Rocky Marciano ain't number 5. Mike Tyson ain't number 6. Joe Frazier ain't number 8. And Evander Holyfield ain't fucking number 10. Ali 1, Robinson 2, Joe Louis. Most people have him lower, but if you want to put Joe Louis, who fucking had like how much? 25 title defenses at heavyweight at number 3. Okay. Leonard, at number 7. Maybe it's a little high, but this is a guy who beat fucking Duran, beat Hearns, beat Hagler. Jack Johnson obviously easily could be top 10. And that's it. The rest of these guys, they don't fucking deserve to be top 10 greatest American boxers of all time. Please. What's wrong with people? Like whoever made this list, they did good graphics. But the fucking list itself, bullshit. Bullshit. Right? Like, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Get real. Like, who do you guys think should be on this list that's not on the list? I'll let you name some people, and let's see if we can come up with, obviously, Ali, Robinson, Joe Louis, Leonard, and Jack Johnson. That's 5. So there's 5 other fighters we could easily put on that. Why not Holyfield? Only 4-time heavyweight champion, undisputed in 2 divisions. Come on, young guns. I love Evander Holyfield, but he ain't fucking top 10 greatest all time. Gene Tunney. Well, Gene Tunney had 2 great wins. Obviously, some good wins at middleweight as well and light heavyweight. Armstrong easily could be on that list. He was a 3-weight world champion all at the same fucking time when there was literally how many world titles? I mean, weights? 7? 6? 7? 8? Not many. So he should definitely be on the list. That looks like the LGB pound for pound list. Well, that ain't true because there's no way they'd ever put fucking Rocky Marciano on their fucking list. No fucking way would they put Rocky Marciano on their list. And their list, fucking Deontay Wilder would be on the list above Holyfield and probably Tyson. And Devin Haney would fucking probably be there above fucking Sugar Ray Leonard. But Armstrong, so that's number 6. So 4 more. Come on, people. Defending his title at 126, 135, and 147 belts simultaneously. Yeah, that shit's fucking never been done. Maybe it's not allowed to be done now, but like, come on. He was fucking great. Willie Pep should fucking be on this list. Easily. Willie Pep should be on that list. So that's 7. I think fucking the Mongoose should be on this list. That's 8. And the Mongoose definitely should be on the list above Tyson and Holyfield for heavyweights. Dempsey, no. It depends what the criteria is. Best American boxers of all time, right? I don't know all those older guys. Fair enough, but you must know some. But yeah, Willie Pep, Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott had more knockouts than fucking every single guy on this list had world title fights. Literally, only Sugar Ray Robinson doesn't fit into that criteria. What about Roy Jones Jr.? Roy Jones Jr. probably would have been on the list, but unfortunately, he fucked himself by continuing to fight after he became a heavyweight champion. If he would have stopped there, then people probably would be putting him on that list for sure. I take prime Roy, but he loses overall longevity. That says a lot. Yeah, I mean, Roy Jones, fucking, he was unbelievable. Who else? Willie Pep, Hammering Hank Armstrong, the Mongoose. Like, if we just go to top fighters of all time, pound for pound, all time, like, there's a lot of dudes that should be on that list. Harry Greb, middleweight champion, 265, 19, and 17. Some people have him. Benny Leonard, 186, 20, and 10. Some people would have Hagler on that list, even though Hagler's resume is not as great as people like to make it out to be. 62, 3, and 2. Archie Moore, like I said, 186, 23, and 10. Gene Tunney, 81 and 3. Fucking impressive. Ezra Charles. Ezra Charles should be on that list for sure. Ezra Charles fucking had a great career. Tony Canzanieri. Barney Ross, 74, 4, and 3. Right? There's a lot of dudes that just get fucking ignored and looked over. The great Emil Griffin, 84, 85, 24, and 2. Obviously, he killed a guy in the ring, and that definitely fucking screwed him over hard. SOG, fuck off. No way fucking SOG fucking is one of the best American fighters of all time. You have to put B-Hop on the list before you put fucking SOG on the list. Easily. 100 fucking percent. B-Hop became an undisputed champion at a weight class, literally cleared it out. Tank Davis, maybe if it was the worst American boxer of all time, you'd put Tank Davis on that list. Roy weighed 193 versus almost 235, 240-pound heavyweight champion. That's impressive. A guy who started at 154, first fighter in over 100 years to win titles at middleweight and heavyweight. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Roy Jones, I said, would be on the list. But the thing with him is when he then moved down in weight and got knocked out 2 times in a row and then went on to fucking get beat and 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 beat. He just kind of killed his momentum. But yeah, if you want to talk about accomplishments and accolades, I definitely fucking have no problem with Roy Jones being on the list. Shane Mosley, no chance. Overrated. Outside of the 2 Oscar De La Hoya wins, both where he's on PEDs, what are the other great wins he has in his resume? Those are the 2. Ruiz just might be the worst light heavyweight champion ever. Exactly. That's also something people have to keep into consideration. When he moved up to face fucking him, imagine if fucking Roy Jones was not a black American, if he'd been a Mexican or a white guy or Eastern European or an Asian, and he fucking did that. Oh, you can imagine the criticism he would have got. Oscar, 6-time division champion, get any love? Oscar could totally be on the list too. Oscar fucking was one of the best fighters. He was pound for pound. He was fucking pay-per-view superstar. Unfortunately, with him, those 2 Mosley fights kind of hurt him. And then his performance against Pacquiao definitely didn't help him. He did much better against Floyd than he did against Pacquiao. And then, of course, him getting stopped by B-Hop probably wasn't the best either. After losing to Roy, we saw Ruiz win 3 fights in a row over guys like Rahman, Gallardo, and became a 2-time heavyweight champion. Didn't he also beat Holyfield, right? If I'm not mistaken. Also, fucking what's-his-face beat Holyfield? James Toney. Oscar and Roy in the 90s were monsters. Facts. If Pacquiao doesn't stop taking those big fights and losing, can it tarnish his career as well? To be fair, at least Pacquiao's taking world title fights, right? And he's not fighting so much. You fight Thurman, you get a win. You fight Ugas, you get a loss. If you beat fucking Mario Barros, it's a great way to go out. If you lose but don't get embarrassed, it ain't so bad. But as I said earlier in this video, that fight should not be happening. Remember the knot on Rahman's forehead? Oh, fuck. Yeah. Dong. That was big. Holyfield is one of the most overrated heavyweight champs ever. Holyfield was great. I loved Evander. Evander did exactly what he had to do. Being a smaller fighter, we knew that he was going to struggle with bigger heavyweights like Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. And that's obviously what happened, right? You know, there was a limit, small heavyweight versus big heavyweight. That's what makes what Usyk has done so fucking incredible. Beating Anthony Joshua, beating Tyson Fury, beating Daniel Dubois. He is the Holyfield, but with a way better skill set than Evander. Not nearly as entertaining. Not the fucking warrior that fucking Evander was, but just a way better boxer and able to win against the big guys because he's just way more skilled. Why isn't Hagler on the list? Do you think it's him staying in one weight hurt him? Well, you tell me the 5 best wins on Marvin Hagler's resume. Go. Oscar's overrated. Oscar's not overrated. Oscar fought everybody. Literally everybody. What he was doing was what fucking boxers should do. And in the process, you lose when you do that. He was Tyson's kryptonite. Usyk never beat a prime Bowe. And in truth, neither did Holyfield. Prison was Tyson's kryptonite. Well, he'd already got beat and knocked out by Buster Douglas before Prison. Holyfield's resume of names is iconic. Okay. You tell me Holyfield's best 5 wins at heavyweight. But name 5 Oscar wins. Oh my God. Come on, dude. Come on. I didn't put Oscar on my list. You're the one trying to jam fucking Holyfield on the list. Holyfield has fucking double-digit losses, got beat by fucking scrub-ass fucking opponents. Oscar never did. Pussy was Tyson's kryptonite. That's true. Mike Tyson was overrated in the 80s, stayed long like Mitch Green, James Smith, clinch on the inside. Mike gets frustrated. If Usyk beats Dubois, he has nothing left to prove. Nothing left to prove. Obviously, a Parker win is just a great cherry on the cake. You retire undefeated with the fucking level of opponents you beat at cruiserweight and then at heavyweight. People will still find a way to downplay him and discredit him, though. Mike, after 4 rounds, a guy like Frazier makes him squeal. Aircraft carrier, you know De La Hoya beat Trinidad. He did. He got robbed. Don King was Lex Luthor. Holyfield versus Foreman. They didn't use much defense. That's why I think it would be competitive with modern fighters. Well, modern fighters, man. People like to act like fighters back in the day are obviously better than fighters today. I don't prescribe to that. Obviously, you got great fighters in the past. Historical, legendary great fighters who would totally be great fighters today. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the fighters today are garbage. Some fighters are garbage and overrated. And obviously what they have to come through compared to what a lot of fighters had to come through before is not the same. I saw John Boxing was talking about how Black American fighters have to come through so much, whereas all these non-Americans, you know, life is so easy for them. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? Most of these big name American black fighters, you know, amateur resumes and everything else, signed with major promoters out of the amateurs, fucking gift wrapped fucking big opportunities, put on TV early in their careers. A lot of these non-Americans fucking toiled in obscurity, fucking grinding their way up to finally getting opportunities. Holyfield tuned up Foreman with speed. He came in at 215 versus an older George. Well, I mean, goddamn, George was fucking 45 years old. Sweet Pea didn't beat Oscar. Oscar won that fight, but I like to pretend Sweet Pea won. And Felix Sturm did well because nobody knew who he was. In hindsight, it's not that he won. It's because literally nobody knew who he was. So they were fast to discredit Oscar because he didn't look great against him. But look what Felix Sturm did after that fight. He went on to fucking become a middleweight champion for fucking a decade. SOG can retire and everyone is on his nuts. He still had so much to prove and accomplish. Can't shade him for deciding to leave, but you can't put him in the all-time great list. No, you can't. UK commentators are saying Fury is the greatest of all time after he beat Dillian White. Of course, they're UK fucking commentators. Sweet Pete beat Oscar with no offense. That's not true. Sweet Pea had a fucking offense. He's not like fucking Shakur Stevenson. Never forget how hard Bert Cooper dropped Holyfield. That was a great fight. Bert Cooper, Holyfield. Well, at that point, Bert Cooper was not a fucking journeyman. He turned into a journeyman, but when Holyfield fought him, he definitely was not a journeyman. I remember fucking Cooper and his rise and, you know, some of the great fights he was in. I thought Oscar beat Sweet Pea. Everyone did, except people who love Sweet Pea like me and hated Oscar. Chavez is who I thought lost. He did lose, and fucking Sweet Pea got robbed. A draw. You can't win a fight with no offense at all. I mean, come on. Fact, Sean. Bert Cooper versus Moore was great too. Bert Cooper was always in great fights, right? Like, remember, he first came up training under Joe Frazier, right? And trying to sort of mimic him stylistically. Bert Cooper, no neck motherfucker. Having Sweet Pea showboat flashes on defense doesn't mean he lost the Oscar when he had little offense. You can go back and watch the fights. Oscar De La Hoya beat him, but that's not derogatory towards Pernell Whitaker. Oscar De La Hoya was a great fighter. Larry Holmes is underrated. Larry Holmes is another guy I said could easily be on that greatest American list as well. I would definitely put him on the list above Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, and Marciano. I know, obviously, Mike Tyson beat him, but, you know, that's obviously an old Larry Holmes. Moore is so underrated. People only remember him as a heavyweight. Was a monster at 175. A monster? What did he do at 175? What did he accomplish? Outside of being fucking from Kronk's gym. I thought it was hilarious how Cooper would pump his feet during tense exchanges. Fucking Bert Cooper. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think this list is mistaken. And here we go. One of the fighters that I think definitely should have been on this list, Willie Pep, retired with a record of 229, 11 losses, 1 draw, 65 KOs. We want to talk about great defense like Sweet Pea. Well, Willie Pep was the original. Talks going 62-0 and 73-0 while surviving an airplane crash. Imagine that. Like, people hype up Floyd Mayweather because he retired at 50-0. Willie Pep went 62-0, lost a fight to Sandy Sadler, and then fucking went 73-0 before I can't remember who he lost to later on. But only 11 losses in fucking how many fights? 240 fucking professional fights. 240. And he lost 11. The great Willie Pep once won a round without throwing a punch. Aaron Pryor is underrated. Aaron Pryor is not underrated. The problem is Aaron Pryor was stuck at 140 pounds. Duran didn't fight him when he moved from 135. Skipped past him, which is a fucking shame because that would have been the fight. Duran, Pryor, shit. Literally, Pryor had to wait for fucking Alexis Arguello to come up for him to finally get a name opponent. And then there was probably some cheating going on, right? Some serious cheating. And outside of that, who did Aaron Pryor beat? He was in a new division that had no fucking names and no history. So it's not that he was underrated. It's unfortunate that he never fucking moved his ass down to 135 or up to 147 and tried to get a Sugar Ray Leonard fight. I know he talked about it, but apparently when he was offered the fight, he fucking didn't didn't jump at it. And obviously, he wasn't a big enough name to get Duran to fucking talk about fighting him, which is a shame. Because can you imagine Aaron, the Hawk Pryor versus fucking Roberto, fucking Hands of Stone Duran at 140 pounds before moving up to challenge Leonard at 147? Oh my fucking God. That shit would have been fucking unbelievable. Sean, never give a brother a break. What do you mean? You're not fucking listening. I love Aaron Pryor, but you don't know who Aaron Pryor fought except for fucking Alexis Arguello. Literally, you couldn't tell me one fucking name except for Alexis Arguello. And we saw fucking, give me that bottle. No, not that one. The bottle I mixed, right? We know he was fucking cheating. I don't care because fucking, I say boxers always cheat. Everyone cheats. So you don't hear me making a big deal about it. But literally, Aaron Pryor needed fucking Alexis Arguello, who was a 135-pound fighter, to move up to challenge him because he didn't have any fucking opponents. You can't be great when you don't have opponents. Ask Claressa Shields that, right? Like, if you don't have great opponents, it's unfortunate. Your career is going to be fucking limited, right? Think about the other great undefeated Mexican fighter, Ricardo Lopez, also didn't have great opponents, right? You know, am I hating on him or I'm just telling you the truth? You can have a great career, but if you don't have great opponents, how much respect are you going to get? Like, people don't talk about Aaron Pryor because outside of Alexis Arguello, they don't know anyone he fought. They know that he fought Tommy Hearns in the amateurs because we all watched that video, but they don't know anything else. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Like, in sports, fucking ever since we played sports, we've been cheating, trying to get an edge any way possible. And now you put millions of dollars on the table. Come on. Glass Jaw Moore, he sucked. I agree. I think overrated. Gerald McLennan is forgotten about. He was a monster too. Spelled his name wrong, but yeah, Gerald. Well, his fight with Nigel Benn, you can go watch it. The end of his career, basically, but that was a great fight. Young Guns, thank you very much. Michael Spinks versus Bivol. Bivol. I got Bivol all day. I always thought Spinks was overrated. He fought in a light heavyweight division that I thought was overrated, not very good. And then he went up and beat Larry Holmes, and I think he didn't beat Larry Holmes. That was fucking racism, stopping Larry Holmes from breaking fucking Marciano's record, right? And back in that time, you could totally fucking understand how fucking racism would stop Larry Holmes, a black man, from breaking Marciano, a white man's fucking record of undefeated fucking world title fights. It's a shame. And all these guys that love to fucking jump on the pro-black fucking thing, I don't hear them ever talk about that because they're too stupid and ignorant. Ignorant motherfuckers. Ignorant. Speaking of that, have you guys ever seen the Steve Martin movie, The Jerk? I'm going to download it. I just was talking at work about it today, and I'm like, fuck, I got to watch that movie. I think that movie in today's context would be fucking hilarious. This white guy being raised by a black family in America, and then fucking, you know, his life afterwards. I think that would be fucking crazy. Hilarious. I'm sure it's going to be interesting just based on the world we live in today. Some biased channels say that if Crawford beats Canelo, it will tarnish his legacy. Tarnish Crawford's legacy? Even though he never asked for the fight, I always said that if Canelo wins, no credit. Crawford wins, he'll be praised. Well, yeah, of course. That was always the situation, right? It's a no-win situation for Canelo. If he beats Crawford, he's just doing what he was supposed to do. If he loses, people always look for reasons to shit on fucking Canelo, so they're just going to use that as a reason to shit on him. But for Canelo to lose to Floyd, Bivol, and Crawford in his career, somehow that's something to shit on him over? Really? All the fighters we just talked about on that fucking list now. Let's go back. Every single fighter on this list, except for Floyd Mayweather and Marciano, fucking lost. And they lost to some bum ass opponents that weren't fucking the same level as a fucking Mayweather, Bivol, or fucking Bud Crawford. I mean, Bud Crawford could easily retire undefeated if he beats Canelo. He will. Maybe they'll do a rematch, or he'll retire with that win, meaning he'll retire undefeated. Floyd retired undefeated. And many people feel that Bivol didn't lose the fight to Beterbiev, so he could still be undefeated right now. Like, Canelo losing to those three fighters is a testament to what a great career he's had. Because they ain't fucking bums. They are legends. All of them. What weight are they falling at? 168. Prime Chad Davis, Bivol, who wins? Oh, Chad Dawson gets fucking destroyed. That dude's fucking not that good. Steve Martin, I was born a poor black child. That's why I think to watch that movie now would be fucking crazy. And you can't say it's racist because it's not racist, but it's a comedy and it's fucking not obscene, just like a crazy circumstance, right? To be raised by a poor black family in the South as a white kid. He fought Floyd too soon. He was not experienced enough. Regardless, right? That happens. You fight good fighters. You learn from your experience. He had an iron jaw too. Manny Stewart told a story about a 17-year-old McKellen getting into a fight with Hearns outside the ring, taking a clean right hand from Hearns without gloves on. That just shows you what a fucking dickhead the kid was, that he get in Tommy Hearns' face and fucking provoking him. So Tommy fucking broke his hand on him. Who made the list? I don't know. It was just on social media. And Gerald didn't even flinch. 168. No way Crawford wins. I heard some casuals say that Crawford has a better career than Canelo just because he's undefeated. Yeah, because people are stupid. People are stupid. Like, come on, man. Crawford's had a great career, but you can't compare the level of resume that Crawford has compared to fucking Canelo. Yes, he's 2 weight undisputed. Canelo is 1 weight undisputed. Should have been undisputed at 160. Only didn't become undisputed because of the fucking IBF. I believe the version of Canelo would lose to Crawford unless he pulls a rabbit out of his hat, which he has done. Also, depending on his performance, will determine if he does chase the Bivol rematch. Yeah, obviously, if he loses to Crawford, I expect Canelo probably will retire, maybe try to get a rematch with Crawford to cash out the big money from Turkey. And if he wins, then the Bivol fight is happening, which is why I say David Benavidez, his team's full of shit. They ain't fucking going to fight Bivol Beterbiev winner, because if Bivol wins the rematch, he's going to fight fucking Canelo. Why would he fight Benavidez? That's not a measure of experience. If Crawford were to beat Canelo and become a 3-time undisputed world champion, definitely be a strong argument. Yeah, the accomplishments are great, right? But still, the level of resume isn't as good as Canelo's resume. Obviously, becoming a 4-weight world champion, he'd become a 5-weight world champion, right? If he beats Canelo. So he puts himself in that elite fucking league as well. Not even 10 fighters in boxing history have become 5-weight world champions. So Crawford would do what a lot of fighters did, end his career fucking getting all the accolades, which is what historically usually happens. Canelo stopped taking challenges after Bivol. He felt mortal that night. Dogleaf, yeah, it is. Long Lance heading your way. And here's the one people love, Hagler Golovkin. You know, this is the same scenario. Hagler, like B-Hop, like Golovkin. Guys that also built up their careers at the end of their career. Golovkin ended up making more money, got robbed in the cards, so missed out on getting his De La Hoya and Trinidad win and his Hearn Duran win. But, still very similar. But people are quick to fucking call Hagler one of the top 10 best fighters on all time, but then want to shit on Golovkin and act as if somehow he was a bum, even though we can list 10 world champions at 160 who blatantly ducked him. 10. Meanwhile, when you talk about Hagler, we fucking focus on the dudes that blatantly ducked him. That becomes part of his story. But with Golovkin, we ignore that. Ironic, right? Sean, how do you feel about Bill Haney saying Devin is more accomplished than Floyd at 126? I made a video. Oh, I didn't put it up, but I made a video. I will put it up. Yeah, no, I think Bill Haney's fucking an idiot. Stupid fucking dumbass. You trying to compare Devin Haney's career at 26 to Floyd? What are you, a fucking idiot? You becoming undisputed by beating George Kambosos don't fucking mean all that much. Come on. Blue Blood is going to have indigestion for 2 weeks after Canelo destroys Bub in 6. GG would be too big for Hagler. They'd be a great fight. Both guys had great chins. The difference is Golovkin's jab is fucking great. He could win the fight with his jab. And we saw Hagler get beat by fighters that weren't as good as Golovkin. We never saw Golovkin get beat by anybody not as good as fucking Hagler. Unless you want to say Canelo's not as good as Hagler. But Canelo has went through multiple weight divisions and done things that Hagler never dreamed of doing. Hagler could have went up to fight Michael Spinks at 175. He wasn't interested in that challenge. He was more interested in fighting a lightweight moving up or 2 welterweights moving up. John is going to have a video about this one. Of course he will. The dude is waiting, not staying busy. No one says anything. He's chasing for greatness, yet he's not taking any risks. That's my only criticism of Crawford. Yeah, but Crawford, why would he take a risk when you have the big fight in front of you? Like, it would be stupid to do that. You got the big fight. You got Canelo. I love how people downplayed the Spence fight. Like, not many people picked Bud to beat the King at 147. I did. How GG too big for Hagler? Hagler has a longer reach. Golovkin is taller and physically bigger. We've seen them stand beside each other. Golovkin was bigger, even though, yes, Hagler was older at that point of his career. So it's not really a fair indication. But yeah, Golovkin was a bigger fighter. Fighters nowadays, right? They don't have same-day weigh-ins. They have day before weigh-ins. So fighters all fight at divisions where they're bigger than they should be, right? Pretty much. That's why people love to call people fucking weight bullies. I honestly think Peak GG gives Hagler a hell of a fight, and he could have beat him. Yeah, it's a great matchup. You imagine these two hard-punching motherfuckers with their huge fucking chin. The reach here, that reach is fucking... The people that make this, Ring Magazine, I don't know where they get their reach shit from. Because I watched, they did one of these for Leonard and Floyd Mayweather. And they had Floyd Mayweather's reach longer than Leonard. Leonard had a 74-inch reach. Mayweather had a 72-inch reach. I know that Hagler's reach is longer than Golovkin, but 191 to 178? I question the validity of that. Hagler. Sean, how long have you been cooking John Boxing? I remember the first Jay Cotto was cooking him, then you took over. Well, actually, that was kind of going on simultaneously because John went out of his way to attack people that made opinions he disagreed with, right? Yet he says, black people, they never come on people's channel, blah, 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 blahing. What do you mean, John? That's what you always fucking did. Might be controversial, but I view the Leonard Hagler fight similar to Canelo GG 1. Leonard was on his back foot the whole fight. Would have been a great trilogy. The jab, the size advantage, the chin, the fact that Hagler wasn't a runner, it would be a phenomenal fight. Phenomenal. No, it'd be a great fight. The big advantage, obviously, Hagler has that you could give him some advantage because he's a southpaw with longer reach, right? And because he's a southpaw, it could make Golovkin difficult to be effective with his jab. But we know Golovkin's jab was great, and he was always effective with his jab, even when he was past his prime, and still was able to be competitive just based on his jab. So I do think his jab still would have been very competitive. Sean wasn't always a villain. He was the LDBC ally once upon a time. What are you talking about, ally? The LDBC hasn't been around that long. Who was I allied to? I didn't have a problem with 78. I didn't have a problem with blood boxing. The rest of those guys are all new fucking guys that just latched onto those guys. Not until that dude pulled a gun on me. And then 78 and fucking blood somehow jumped on the race fucking narrative, acting like some dude threatening somebody with a gun on fucking social media wasn't a fucking dumbass. And it was everybody else's fault, not his fault. These are the same people that defend Angel Reese. Higher work rate too. Hagler's conditioning was ridiculous though. Yeah, no, Hagler was fucking great. It was because of Sean that the LDBC formed. Well, yes, that's true. What about Dante's Burger Nation? He was always a douchebag and always on his own island of racism. Sean, you like the Thanos and the LDBC are the fucking fruity Avengers. Don't make me put on my glove. LDBC been out since 2013. No, they haven't. No. Come on, man. Come on, man. You're mistaken. Very mistaken. Lions Den Boxing was started by that dude from Georgia, the military guy, and then another dude that he hung out with, Zone 6. Yes. So there you go. So you know. But that's not the LDBC. That's completely different. And Zone 6, we've never really had problems. I mean, we disagreed because he was a Keith Thurman fanboy, but he was never a fucking radical fucking Black Panther like a lot of those guys pushing fucking racial narratives all the time. But yeah, Zone 6 was the original guy, and then 78 and those fucking guys stole it because when they did it, first of all, it was supposed to be a debate platform. So if you wanted to debate boxing, you'd go on the LDBC platform, that's Zone 6, and who's the other guy that was with him? I can't remember his name, but yeah. But that's much different because then after the LDBC formed, they had white people, Mexicans, everyone. And then eventually all of them were chased off and it just became fucking a black fucking situation. Who made 78's Goose V? Asked the boss. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Zone 6 was always pretty fair. I liked the homie. He was cool. Yeah. He still makes videos once in a while. Every once in a while, I stumble across something that he was saying. But obviously, he's not in the army now. So he's probably married with kids and, you know, working hard to support his family. So Zone 6. And then there was the original guy, Carcino. Remember Carcino? He was really one of the first OGs in the boxing community. But the problem with him, he was a fucking Floyd Mayweather fanboy. So it was hard to fucking agree with him. And then he went away from boxing and started doing mostly sports commentating. I don't know if he became more successful or less. Damn. So Lord Jabba 78 stole the LDBC. Of course he did. Hey, Sean, did you see Kabayel turn down a fight with Vlad? What was that about? With Klitschko? For what belt? What was on the line for that? Klitschko Kabayel. Who was Vlad supposed to fight? Oh, he was talking about fighting Fury, right? See, that fight made more sense because he was owed to fight with Fury. So that fight would make more sense that they'd push for that. But him facing Kabayel? I mean, in Germany, that fight would be popular because obviously Klitschko's lived in Germany, were promoted in Germany. So they have a big fan base in Germany, like Kabayel. Carcino, Blue Blood, and Ticket TV create fake breaking news like no other. Carcino still creating fake news? On boxing or just sports? I mean, Ticket TV, that guy's a fucking tool. Blue Blood, fucking, I don't know why people listen to him like somehow he's some source in boxing. this old fucking bus driver. And then Fannin is fucking mental, literally mental. Fucking dude's fucking in a straitjacket on meds more than he is fucking off of it. Someone was telling me Kabayal is susceptible to long straight punches. Well, I don't know. That didn't work for the big Chinaman. Blue Blood has breaking news 27 times a day. Yeah, these dudes are all clickbait motherfuckers, man. Fannin. Jesus Christ. That dude clickbaits like crazy. That's why I made that video talking about how he's being indicted by fucking the FBI. Because it's like, this is him. This is what he does. Literally. Clickbait fucking titles. I should just make videos fucking constantly using Fannin's name, being arrested by the FBI, being fucking investigated by fucking the New York City fucking Justice Department, right? Like that's what every video I'm going to put out fucking just talk about Fannin. You know, breaking news. Trump fucking is creating a special fucking group to investigate Fannin boxing and his racial fucking narratives. These dudes are clowns. You can't take these people serious, but people, thanks for jumping in. I'm going to get ready, have a shower, and get ready to go to bed. Got to work tomorrow with the little kids, so I need my energy. Getting old, they fucking tire me out quick. Is Fannin still pushing the narrative that Bud is being investigated for cheating? What a tool. Yeah, constantly, right? Constantly. Yeah, Bud's cheating. Like there's an investigation way. He's trying to push fucking an Errol Spence fucking Glovegate fucking scenario. Fucking guy, man. Like, meanwhile, this is what people support in boxing. This kind of fucking bullshit. Like, this is the problem with fucking sports, people, fucking YouTube. There's literally fucking these diseased individuals out there pushing terrible shit. But then you got dumbass fucking brain dead people like John Boxing ignoring that and acting like everything is race-based because he's fucking mental. He's mental, right? Like he was just shitting on RG3 and so defending what's his face, Clark, who attacked him and literally criticized fucking RG3 saying he can't talk about black women because his wife is fucking white. So John, how's that going to fucking work for you? Your fucking wife's Mexican. You're in the same boat as RG3. You better not talk about any black women. I saw you make videos about black women. Fucking Clark would be all over you for that shit because you don't know the fucking things black women had to go through because your wife ain't black. Don't tell me about your mother, your aunties, or your sisters because RG3, like you, has black mother, black aunties, and black sisters, and black children. So, you can't fucking have conversations with these people. They're fucking idiots. Brain dead. Mental. But it is what it is. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on. I appreciate it. I will see you this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to go live because I don't think there's any fights on at a time where I can go live. But if there is, I will. And if there isn't, I won't. Until then, peace out.